Good morning, Soldier Boy here, and welcome back to RoadCraft for what is live stream number 58 as we continue our journey through the game. Good morning, hope your week is going well. We're back today for 3.5 hours as we continue on the final Rebuild DLC map Washout, and hopefully keep continuing our progress so far. Massive thank you to everyone who joined us yesterday. We're fully back to streaming as normal this week. We're still missing the episodic content, but we are getting there with streaming. At least we're back to 5 streams a week again, which is always a good thing. And today we continue on from the last RoadCraft stream, which was last Friday, I believe. And in last Friday's stream, if I just have a quick look at my notes, we built the forest base up and running, and as well drained the second swamp. We also built a road to enable us to cross the swamp for dealing with an oil well. That was where we got up to last time. We'll have a check in on percentage and stuff when we go into it properly. But I want to say a massive thank you to everyone yesterday as well. We had a moment yesterday when we was playing Ghost of Yotai live where we were facing a boss that I struggled with, and I'm one of those people that can't stop. I have to carry on until we've done it, and my concern was you guys would get bored of us continuing our attempts. I think we spent like an hour and a half trying to defeat this boss, and we failed. We ran out of time in the end, and we did fail, which bugged me for the rest of the day. I don't like walking away with something not completed. So the fact we failed it and ran out of time wasn't really something that we do much of, and I hate doing. So yeah, it bugged me for the rest of the day, which is annoying. We will be back in Ghost of Yotai tomorrow. I think we found a plan to deal with it. I think we need to go and finish upgrading our weapons fully in the Oshima Coast and stuff like that. So that's the plan for tomorrow. But a massive thank you guys who stuck with us and watched the hour and a half of us coming ever so close. I think at one point was one hit away from defeating the boss. But I just want to say a massive thank you for sticking around. It can't have been the most fun viewing, unless you enjoyed seeing me struggle, maybe. I know people are into that, aren't they? So maybe that's the thing. But yeah, I just wanted to say a massive thank you for sticking around, because, you know, it's not can't be the most fun thing to watch. Although I don't know, maybe it's that thing of, you know, will they do it this time? You know, is it going to happen? Maybe it's that, I don't know. But there we go. Massive thank you for the like. That was much appreciated. But yeah, just a quick thank you to say thank you for actually sticking by and watching. The next vote for main live stream game goes live tomorrow evening. Don't forget about that. That will be the second of the 2 votes we're having before having the final playoff vote, essentially. But yeah, that will go live tomorrow evening as well. Right, let's load in. Let's see how we are. We've got 3.5 hours. See what we can do. We haven't used the DLC forest equipment yet, mainly because we haven't had a mission that entails it. I'm hoping we have one soon so we can have a look at it and see what it's like. Washout 37% done so far. 6 of 24 6 of 24 infrastructure missions done. 10 of 32 main and 6 of 11 side. And we've got the whole western side of the map still unexplored yet. We haven't really had to go that way, so hopefully we'll get there today. We've also completed 1/3 of the story of the map as well. Alright, let's see if we can do more. So I think we finished off by finishing the road in the swamp was where we left off last time, and that enabled us to get to the oil well a lot easier. Sometimes you just need to build these roads to get to places, and it does then speed things up later on. We shall see what missions we've got and where we start today. But we'll do as we always do. We'll work our way through things, see what we can do in what order, and get as much done as possible. My only concern with these votes for the next main live stream game is, will we complete this and finish this before we're ready to change the game? That's my only concern, but I don't really know. We actually left off last RoadCraft stream on Friday trying to get these 4 objects delivered to the oil well, and we failed miserably. They may not look it, but these objects are extremely heavy, and loading all 4 into one vehicle didn't go very well. Our wheels are off the ground, so we're going to have to unload 2 of these where they are now and come back for them, is my thinking. But let's have a quick look at missions first and foremost. We're in the Voron currently. So this is the only main mission we have. Restore the Woodsea oil well. The Woodsea oil well is over here. This is our big road through the swamps that we did in the last stream as well. So we need to get this oil well back up and running, hence why we're grabbing these parts. Side quests we have none. So all we need to do is get this up and running with these 4 parts first and foremost. and that's where we kind of stand. The reason we're not going around on the road to get back there is because of this. Part of me thinks our journey would be a lot easier, and we may have to put a road through there potentially if we have to use this area much more. I think it would be a lot easier just to put some sand through there, maybe a road, may just leave it as sand depending. Sawmill here, so that tells me hopefully we'll have some missions shortly where we need to use the new wood vehicles that came as part of the DLC recently. So first and foremost, we need to get 2 of these off, and we'll keep 2 on, and hopefully that'll be enough weight dealt with. That's not what I wanted to do. That's what I wanted to do, camera. Hopefully that'll be enough weight off of the back of us that we can then traverse normally. That's my hope anyway. They are heavy. You can see just how heavy they are. We knew this loading them up, but they did look particularly heavy, to be fair. Okay, let's lift our anchors up. We did tip over. We managed to save ourselves in the end with the anchors. Yeah, we can carry 2. So 4 was just too many, essentially. It's not the best terrain to try and navigate as well, but it's only because we haven't filled in that road. I think next mission we have that wants us to come this way, I think we fill that road in. I think that's our best option. Right, we can head to the left here and come out of here. But yeah, the next thing we have to do over this way, we'll just try and fill that hole in. I don't think our bridges will make it either. I think they're going to be too short. But we'll see. Right, we've got 2 on board. So where are we going with these 2? Is the first question. We go into the mission. So one of the ones we've got on board is going there. No. Okay, so furthest and first, them 2 are the ones we have on board. I don't know if it matters which one you put where. We'll find out if it allows us to put them in place or not. But we'll go back for the other 2 afterwards. But carrying all 4 was just a mistake. We gave it a go. It didn't work. You only know these things by trying, don't you? That's the thing. I feel like I'm going the wrong way. Yeah, I am going the wrong way. I thought I was. Because I don't remember going that way previously. There's a lot of water there as well. So we will have to explore that way in due course. But at the minute, we don't need to. We have still been thinking also looking on some of the mod maps. Once we finish the DLC map, we have been talking about going and having a look at some of the mod maps. It's not something I usually do. I've played mod maps before, like in things like Farming Simulator, and they're always really good. A lot of fan-made stuff is generally pretty high standard. That's the thing. So we have been considering looking at those once we finish the DLC. Which, if we do finish the DLC before we finish the vote for the next game, may be worth a look, to be fair. And there is more maps coming to this, official maps coming in March, I believe. As well as new vehicles, I think, as well. So the game is going to be supported for a little while at the very least. Which is good, because we really enjoy it. I hope you guys do as well. Right, let's get the first of these 2 delivered, then we'll go back for the other 2. We don't have to go far back to find them, to be fair. Okay. We'll do anchors out. We've already seen how heavy these things are. I don't know which one is going here. So we're going to pick one up and just see what happens. It may... okay, I didn't mean to pick both up. It may allow us to put it in. It may be the wrong one. No. We've got no way of getting them incorrectly, so we will just do them as it turns green. Normally, we'd like to get as much in place ourselves as possible. But I think unless we lift these up singularly, I don't think we'll ever get the right angle. So that is one in place. Second one to go, and I'm pretty sure the second one was this one over here. I've got a feeling it's going to let you put any in any of them, mainly because we guessed that that one was the right one for that bit, but it was a pure guess. To get it right, I think, would be very unlikely, so I think it does allow you to put them anywhere. As this is the only mission we have currently. But we've got to remember we started on 37% today. So it'll be interesting to see what percentage we end up with by the time we finish today. as well. Okay. 2 delivered, 2 to go. We've got to go back now into the woods and take the 2 we left behind, as they were too heavy to carry all 4 at once. We did also clear this area last stream, so we could actually, that was one of the missions we had for this area, was to clear it. And you can see there we found some metal beams as we were clearing it, to be fair, as well. So at least we've got them nearby if we need them. Okay, we'll go kind of where we came out. I think we'll go back in that way, which is right near where the road is really bad. So just in here. Definitely carrying 2 rather than all 4 at once makes a massive difference. That's the thing. But we kind of risked it last time, and it really nearly ended badly because we tipped the vehicle over. You guys at the time suggested, you know, getting the anchors out, and it worked massively to save us. Really, that would have been annoying if we had failed that, because getting another vehicle here to help us get up again would be tricky, or would take, well, it wouldn't be tricky, it would be time consuming, should we say. Right, number 1. I don't fit perfectly in the back as well, that's the other thing. A quick update about episodic content as well. I feel like I'm constantly making excuses, and it really bugs me as well that I can't do what I want to do, if that makes sense. That might sound really weird, but you know, we said in the schedule video that we're trying to get episodic content back. You know, last year we were 200 videos down on the year before, and that was all because of this drowsiness that started affecting us quite badly last year, and obviously it's still ongoing with sleep apnea now being diagnosed, but also obviously the medication, pain meds we're on, all quite strong, cause drowsiness. That on top of it doesn't help things, but I feel like I'm constantly making excuses, and I don't mean to. But yeah, so far this week I've failed yesterday at trying to get any videos done. I promptly had lunch, and whilst eating fell asleep whilst eating. That's the kind of situation we're dealing with. That is really frustrating. You know, there's nothing worse than falling asleep in general, I find, because you feel worse for it generally. But on top of that, falling asleep while eating isn't fun either. That's the thing. So yeah, I'm still struggling. I think my aim this week, try and get some more SnowRunner recorded and edited, and at least have something going episodically, even if it's just 2 videos next week of SnowRunner. Would be kind of my aim. I think I've got to stop trying to aim so high. I can't fit through. Thought I could fit through the trees there. You know, I want to get all this series we've meant to have going back on the channel fully, but I think maybe I'm aiming too big, too quick. Give me a second. Come through really late. My little boys should be at school. Oh, my boy makes me laugh. Basically we've got him a tracking watch, so he can message us and only us on. Just to make sure he gets to school okay. Obviously he'll get a phone next year when he goes to big school, but we're a bit hesitant with the phone at this age. But yeah, so his message just then, he just recorded a voice one, as he always does every morning, saying he's got to school, and I did think it was a bit late for him, to be fair. And in it he said, you know, I've been here 10 minutes, but I'm not chatting to people. Sorry. It's fine. He's at school, it's not an issue. I can see he's at school, so it's not a problem. But he does make me laugh. But yeah, so back to me talking about episodic stuff. Yeah, the plan is, I think, try and get SnowRunner done for next week, so at least that continues. And just week by week try and get something back up. We need to start Far Cry 6 as the final game in our Far Cry franchise run until a new one releases as well. And obviously Wreckfest. Wreckfest 2 is already released in early access on PC. Hasn't come to console yet. I don't know if there is a release date. I've not really looked, to be honest. But we kind of want to get at least the career mode done before the second one releases, ideally. that's kind of my aim. But yeah, I think I've got to stop trying and get everything done in one go and focus more on one thing at a time. I think that's not helping the situation. But I feel like I'm making excuses every week to why we haven't got it. And the fact last year, 200 videos short on what we had previously, just a lot. And people keep saying, you know, they understand the situation. I get they do. But it's just frustrating. More than anything, it's just so frustrating. I feel like I should be able to do more. And I get there's issues behind it. It's a frustration that I can't shake. That's the problem. And I was talking to my other half about it. She's like, well, you can do what you can do. Stop putting so much pressure on yourself. And it's just not easy. I think because we, you know, the channel's been going 5 years fully now since we really focused full time. Although we didn't have a choice but do that in a way. And it does give me that schedule. I think it's more the fact we can't stop me for Wednesday, I think is the issue. Mission complete, restore the woodsy oil well. As we saw, the oil well is now back up and running. We'll let the missions catch up, is that it? Okay, we gave one mission. I was expecting more than one, to be fair. Reach the main power substation is the only mission we have now. So we'll track it, let's see where we're going to get to. Okay, we're going over there. So we're going to reach the main power substation. Reports indicate electricity issues in the southwestern part of the region. Before we can proceed, we need to resolve them. Head to the main power substation and assess the situation. Again, we don't quite know what kind of terrain we're looking at going that way. Obviously, we've not been there yet. Road-wise, I think it's this road here that we kind of nearly went the wrong way with. I would prefer a scout vehicle, I would say, over the Voron. I think just because we don't know what we're going to come up against. We have a scout vehicle just here. This is the Don 72 Malamute. So we'll get this onto our road that's nearby, and then we'll go and find the substation with this. We could take the Voron, and obviously if we didn't need to pick anything up, it'd be handy to have it there, but there is a chance it gets stuck. I'd rather avoid that and just use a scout vehicle that we know probably can handle most conditions and assess it that way. I think is probably a better shout. That's what scout vehicles are for in the first place, aren't they? At the end of the day, unless I tip it over, then that'll be a different story. All our road building stuff is here. I'll say there's no missions currently ongoing. We have got infrastructure stuff. There's connect electricity, replace some pipes, electricity, build a road, pipes. So quite a few pipes need doing. They may turn into main missions later as well. That road's all the way there as well through that swamp. Yeah, they may turn into main missions later. I don't generally look at infrastructure missions really, because most of them will come under main missions at some point. But there are stuff we can be doing if... well, you shouldn't ever get to the point of no missions appearing, but just in case, we have got stuff we can do. But I'd rather focus on the missions we have first and foremost. We do try and do everything 100%, so we'll do them in due course. But yeah, so I'm hoping that we get some more episodic stuff done. It's just, I need to be able to sleep at night, and I can't sleep at night because of the pain, and I'm falling asleep during the day, which doesn't help the night. It's just a catch-22, I just can't win. But I'm trying my best. It's just, yeah. I feel like I'm just constantly making excuses. And you guys are brilliant, you know, no one's really ever moaned at my... I say some people have moaned, but I don't mean that in that way. I mean, some people have asked, you know, what's going on with it, is it coming back, are we going to do Far Cry 6 and all this, and I keep saying yes, but it's the lack of time frame doesn't help, I think. Okay, this may need sand put on it if we have to use this route as well, same as the other route. It may be a case we make a road here. The road building equipment is nearby, so there's two kind of areas now that we may have to deal with, because that is horrendous. Obviously we don't know what we're about to find here at the substation, so it may be a case we may need to put roads in here if we need to get to and from. Where we pick the metal bits up that we just used for the oil well there as well, there is a yellow door. A yellow door on a unit generally says there's going to be a convoy route at some point. So we are going to need a road, I think, anyway, to get the convoy to actually get round it. The mud here is immense, and obviously it's because of the flooding. We know what the cause of this is, hence why we're here, to help fix the region. But it is horrific at the minute. Right, what do we got? This is the main power substation. We've made it. That's the important part. Right, we'll let the missions now catch up, and we'll see what we need to do next. As we haven't got any other missions to do, that's the thing. The area's been revealed. Restore the communication network is one mission. That's a side objective. Main mission, repair the main power substation. Then we may have to build a couple of roads here while we're here. And an area revealed as well. That's twice. Okay, everything's scored up. Let's have a look. So, area revealed is this area, I'm guessing. Oh wow, it's all this as well. Look at this. So we'd not seen anything past here really, to the west, and now we've got a central radio tower there. I'm not sure what these are. What else have we got? We've got a transit point. Could we see that previously? I don't think we could. So that's new, and there's also something here that has got a lot of electricity needed. It's got a big electricity field around it. Let's have a look at missions then. So main mission, repair the main power substation. This requires us to clear that area of objects, that area of objects, and that area of objects. Okay, fair enough. That's the first part. In fact, that will actually restore the main power substation by clearing those three areas, which is what we'll do next by the looks of things. Side mission, restore the communication network. We need to deliver an object from the central radio tower to the transit point. And if you look here, the route I think we're meant to take is very swampy. That could be interesting. So there's two items to pick up here at the radio station tower, and they're to be delivered down there. I think we start with the main mission. We'll move on to the side one afterwards and swap between the two as we always do. So repair the main power substation. Let's have a quick read of what the mission is. This is where I really think they should bring the lady back from the main missions, from the base game. I don't understand why they haven't got her in the DLC. Because you do feel more of a connection to the missions when you've got someone actually saying it to you. With that little bit of emphasis on what they say, I think it does make a massive difference. Let's have a look though. So the main power substation is malfunctioning, but it's fixable. Unfortunately, the old road leading there has been destroyed. Start by clearing the trees and building a new road, then deliver a truck loaded with wires and cooling equipment parked near the Nicole Avenue tunnel. Once these jobs are complete, the repair crew will handle the rest. So actually, this mission will move on to more. So although it just says clear 3 areas, it's not just that. So by the looks of it, we've got to build a new road here as well, by the looks of things. Now, the issue with that is, we know getting a road here is going to be tricky because of the route we need to take to get here. So I'm thinking we need to have a look at what we can do here to make our lives easier. It does say clear the area of trees as well. So we get to use the new trees equipment, I think. I think we do. Because I thought we'd have to use a crane, but it's clearing trees. So I think what we do is you clear the trees and then we build a road through here, would be my guess. Yeah, that's the old road there. To clear them trees down into here, clear these. I'm not sure where the road ends up, but that's the plan. So I think in doing that, we're going to build another road to make us able to get there. I think is probably the best bet. So my thinking is we put a road in here. I'm actually thinking we cut this corner a little bit and put a road in here and then come down this way, just because it saves going all the way round. You know, we can get down to the sawmill fairly simply, but is there much point? We can cut this corner off essentially and make this bit of road all the way up to really to here. Maybe even more, to be fair. The more road we have, the easier it is to navigate. That's the thing. The backup pump stations here, I would assume at some point we need to get to there as well. There's a lot of water there. That's going to stop us, I think. Whether a bridge would actually make it, I don't know. But it does seem like there's a lot there. We still can't build bridges. This map is more about the bridge vehicles. than actually building bridges. But yeah, I think we do a road this way because we need to get a tree cutting equipment here, and that won't be easy unless we have a road. The two choices: we either cut the corner like I'm thinking. Down here, there are tree stumps to watch out for, so we may need to get a stump grinder here first, just in case. But cut the corner and then come this way, rather than doing this whole bit as a road. Although we could cut the corner, but also do this bit just to get rid of the water anyway. Sand-wise, we are not covered, but we can start up the quarry for free to cover it. So let's start the quarry. So we are now covered sand-wise, although we're not covered here, interestingly. So there's me thinking about cutting the corner. We're actually not covered when it comes to sand. Okay, that's not the end of the world. What I do want to check quickly is if we quickly jump in the crane's here. We'll jump in the crane. Because I want to just check, do we need the stump grinder first, or do we just build the road first? I just want to see how many trees there are. But yeah, I think we'll make the corner a little bit easier to navigate. Is there any tree stumps? But then there's a bit of metal underneath us there. If we go to the right hand side, yeah, there are tree stumps. I think stump grinder first then, to clear a path for our road, would be our best bet there. But we've got to think ahead to convoys, because if a convoy is needed, we need to be able to get to where we're going. So convoys are the big thing to always think about, just in case. So our base of operations, our nearest one, see, forest base is to the north. Our nearest point actually is all the way over here. So Highland base, we haven't got any tree cutting equipment out, I don't believe. Let's go to trees and double check. I think we need to look in the shop anyway at the new stuff. So we've got the Aramatsu Kite 3, which is our stump grinder. That's one of them. Or we've got the MTK 100M 4232 5252. So actually, the Aramatsu is the better one on the paper. But as I say, there were new wood equipment added to the shop. Let's have a look at that and see if anything different here. So a new tree harvester, the MTK Lesserub 2006. So that we'll use that. We do really like the crayfish as a tree cutter, tree harvester. But we said we'll use the DLC the minute we got a mission to do wood. So we'll use the MTK Lesserub. We'll give it a go, essentially. We've already got that one. What else was new? A log grabber loader we haven't used. Another log grabber loader there. The log forwarder, so this is what you use to pick up the logs. That's new as well. That was added recently. Tree harvester, oh, that's the same one. Okay, so we'll use the new tree harvester. In fact, we'll buy it now. In fact, no, we won't. We'll buy it when we need it, because then I'll remember that we've got it. But yeah, they're the two we're going to use. So we're going to have to get the kite out, and we need to drive this to where everything else is and do the stump grind, and then we'll build our road and then clear the trees and build another road, essentially. It's not too slow, to be fair. It's got a little bit of a journey to go. Obviously the road through the swamp will make this a lot easier. That's the thing. But it's got a little bit of a journey. But be interested in log harvesting, tree harvesting, how that works. As I say, the crayfish has been our go-to vehicle since we were able to have one for cutting down trees. But since they've added the new DLC tree vehicles in, you've got to have a look, don't we, really? They haven't added in a new stump grinder. There's still two. There's two in the game, and that's all there is. But yeah, I think cutting that corner of the road as well as extending it will make sense. And then hopefully that'll make our life a little bit easier, really. Not the fastest thing in the world, but I think it'll do okay to get there. It takes a little bit of time. But as I say, the road through the swamp will make a massive difference. But yeah, we'll do one thing at a time, work our way through it that way. And then once we've done that, once we've done the main mission, we'll move on to the side mission to deliver them items as well. game may need another road. Roads take time to build, and some you've got to do, they're mandatory for certain missions, but others it does make life so much easier later on if they're done. Although it takes the time now, it may make everything else easier in the long run. That's the thing, so I think it is worth doing them when we get a chance to. Sometimes we only just put sand down and leave it as sand, but sometimes it's not enough. So yeah, this should be okay. Obviously we've got the other bit of hole to fill in with a bit of road at some point as well, going the other way, but we'll deal with that when we get to it. Quick reminder as well, if there's any games that weren't on the previous vote from last week that you think we should add to this week's vote, we've only got a choice of 4 to add to it, and we'll try and do different games, different genres where possible, with a more varied choice. Let me know in the comments today or tomorrow morning before the vote go live tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening in fact. We've only got a choice of 4. I think I know what I'm putting on, but anyone has suggestions, we may change it and go from there. And then the following week we'll have the vote off between the 2 winners of both votes. I do think obviously having 2 votes and then a final vote takes longer, admittedly, but I think it gives us so much more choice. If YouTube had kept the 6 vote format rather than narrowing it down to 4, we wouldn't have to do 2 votes. But I think 4 is too small a choice because we play so many different games. I think having that variety in a vote makes so much difference. And does throw up some varied winners as well, that's the thing. So, yeah, I think it's the right thing to do. It just takes time. But it may mean we need to start votes sooner, because obviously my concern at the minute is we're going to finish one of the 2 games we're currently doing before the vote finishes, which wouldn't be ideal. Although we can just put one of the 2 games an extra stream or 2 if required. But I'd rather not run out, essentially. Okay, I think we're going to build the road here, this side of the pylons. Is my thinking. So we just need to have a look around for any stumps in the way. Turn on our mulcher. I swear there's a stump there. Yeah, it's there. Let's lower that down then. There we go. Is it gone now? Yeah. I will say stump grinding this can be a bit tricky. It seems really easy, but sometimes you just need to make sure you're actually on it properly. On that stump there. There we go. You kind of need to hold position and make sure you're still on the stump. That's the thing. There's always a track, turning with tracks. Doesn't like to do it whilst driving. Because of the slope here as well, we're kind of going past the stump. I think it's done. Yeah. So yeah, we're going to do a road this side. With any debris that's around as well. So we don't have to do too many stumps here. The big thing for the stump grind will be when we actually clear the route, the other road that the mission wants us to build the trees. That'll be when we need this made more. Rain's coming down heavy as well. Now they have added in a new thing to turn off rain and different weathers in the game. It's not something I'm interested in turning off. I think I like the realism that you get with the wet weather, or any weather really. It adds that extra bit of realism, doesn't it? Doesn't affect anything really. I do like the actual water here, the rain hitting the water though. It's quite nice. little detail, to be fair. There's so many little details I've done really well in this. Okay. I think that's our kind of road cleared. What I might do, just because we may swing round here, I'll just clear this one over here a little bit. So we are going to need this in due course as well. So we'll just park it up over here out the way of where we're building. We know we are going to need that. Okay. All our road building equipment's here anyway from building the big road through the swamp. So sand is next. This is the Aramatsu bowhead we're using. It doesn't have the biggest capacity when it comes to sand, but it is tracked, so it means it does really well in water. We have had some moments where it's been flicked over and stuff though. It's had some really weird ones. But it is really good in rough terrain, so we'll carry on using this. So we're building this road to help us get to the area we need to clear the area of objects, just because our actual tree clearing may not reach there if we don't do this. We may have some problems getting there. So this thing is really sensitive on turning though. When you're not going forward, when you're going forward or backwards and turn, it's extremely sensitive. When you're just turning, it's not so bad. You stop accelerating to control the turn better. And I'm not, thank you for the like, very much appreciated. I'm definitely not the best at actually laying sand down for a road. I struggle to get it right, I must admit, but we'll do what we can here. I think what we'll do is come this way, start here roughly and go round. Because I don't want this corner to be too sharp if we can avoid it. A little bit higher. Obviously because we're on a slope, we've got to try and control that movement for the slope as well. Not quite what I wanted there, I don't think. The only issue here as well, we can't refill here, so where we need to get to is just where our road's going to join the water bit there, and we can refill from there. There we go. So our plan is to put the road down here to cut the corner, just to make it a bit easier ourselves, but we'll also fill in the road to the sawmill for the water that's here as well, just to make that more drivable. As I say, I think there'll be a convoy needed at some point here, so this is all really to help that more than anything else. I don't think my plan of making the corner not so sharp has gone as well as I'd hoped, to be fair. Once we level out the sand, I think this will be a lot easier. It just looks really severe at the minute. Come on. As I say, it's a slope that's causing the issue, because I don't want to keep trying to do it evenly, and obviously when you have a slope it kind of just stops you doing it as evenly as you hope. Trying to turn as well, but it's really not liking it. Right, I have just seen a couple of stumps that may be worth taking out as well for when we spread that sand. So what I'm going to do, refill here, we're going to swap vehicle while it's refilling. It's just a couple of stumps that I've seen that when that sand spreads out may be an issue. So we're going to get rid of those quickly. I just don't want to have an issue when we spread the sand. That's the thing. Lower that down. There is one here. It's just where we are now, so we'll just get rid of this one first. Is it doing it? I thought I pressed mulcher on, but it weren't doing it. There we go. Wasn't quite doing what I wanted there. We just work around this edge bit here, I think. We'll give you the ones we need to. I think my bit on the front is too low there. You can see the ones just on this side here, that I think are the issue. Just when that sand spreads, it will go a lot wider. So that's what we're just trying to deal with. There's one here as well. There we go. Right, the 7 dealt with. We'll just put this over here. And then we'll jump back into the dump truck. That's now refilled with sand. As I say, I'm not the best at putting sand evenly. That's the only thing. This definitely won't be the last road we build today, will it? Considering we've got to do one other one once we clear all the trees. Well, more than expected. Hey, it's quite deep actually. You don't realise how deep this water is until you're in it. Right, what I want to do, I want to reverse up to where the water kind of starts. If I can. What's that? And kind of start the road there. Really not happy. Let's go that way. Because obviously if we need a convoy here, we're going to have that problem. We need to... I thought reversing would be okay, but it's really not liking it. Right, there we go. We'll try and stick to this edge over here, I think. It kind of goes down there, and that's why it's having an issue trying to go straight. I'm not turning at all, it's turning on its own there. But yeah, I think we start the... We're not starting the road, we're kind of just adding to it, essentially. Just to make our life easier, long term. Because I think there will be convoys. I'm already here doing a bit of road anyway. So there's no harm in extending it out. I think we may need to do something over there as well at some point. Obviously the concern to this is we're doing a road area where potentially we may need power cables, and if we do, obviously we may have to dig the road up. We always try and avoid that where we can. That is down to the building roads, is obviously you don't know where power cables are going to go straight away. This power substation, the main power station, well, it is a substation. You know, once it's up and running, where's that power going to go? Is that road going to affect that? That's the thing. We've yet to ever have to dig up a road that we've done so far. Doesn't mean it won't happen though, that's the thing. Okay. I think we don't have to go all the way to the substation with this. I think we can stop just outside it. It's just whatever's going to make our life easier if we have to do a convoy, which I think we will, judging by what it says. And also the yellow doored areas, door units, because they mean convoy potentially. So that's where they end up going to. But yeah, this is a lot deeper than you realise. I didn't realise how deep this was when we were driving through it in the Malamute. Mainly because of the big wheels on the scout vehicle. So we just didn't notice how deep this was. That's the thing. YouTube. Right. Keep going round. We've had a few little issues with this vehicle at times, and it jumping around when doing sand, so we did need to be a little bit careful. We had this when we were doing the big road in the swamp. I think it's a little bit glitchy, the Aramatsu. When you're first tipping the first bit of sand after you've already done some, it kind of catches and throws you around. That's something to be aware of. I'm looking forward to trying the new tree harvester though. We have really relied on the crayfish a lot, mainly because it's brilliant. So it'd be interesting to see what a new one works like, to be fair. It's always interesting trying new equipment and seeing what we prefer. The crayfish has been amazing, but a new one may be just as good, if not better, that's the thing. And if the road isn't long enough, if we find it is worse further forward, we can always add to this if needed. When we spread this out fully, it will take a better shape. Like I say, I'm not the best at putting sand down. But yeah, it's surprising how deep this bit actually is, to be fair. Luckily, the tracks are give us quite a lot of height, so we don't drown the Aramatsu, but look how close that is to drowning. Not far away. We definitely wouldn't have got vehicles through here to do what we need to do, to be fair. I think we would have drowned a few, especially like the stump grinder is quite low to the ground, so there would have been potential for us to drown that if we weren't careful. And since all this equipment's already here, it's not taking us any time really to get it to location. And we could leave it just with sand once we level it off, but I think it is just so much easier just to put a road on it. Because a lot of this water may be drained away when we do other parts, but a road just it's done then, isn't it? Because some vehicles still struggle on sand. That's the thing, like the Wayfarer, you put sand down, it will still struggle for grip. Whereas the asphalt, it doesn't. So taking a bit of extra time to actually put a proper road down does make a difference. I was chatting to someone the other day who's played this, or is playing this, and they're trying not to build roads. Obviously if the mission tells them they've got to, then they will. But they're trying their best not to build any roads. Let's just say it's not going particularly easy. It's an interesting challenge though. How far can you go without building a road that isn't mission orientated? Although you can't obviously 100% the infrastructure. So there's that side of it. So things like this, they won't lay a road to make their life easier. They will try and go across. It's just you can't then use the Wayfarer anywhere. And convoys become a lot more difficult when you lay their road, their pathway down. Because they just get stuck all the time. Although the AI in this is really good compared to a lot of games. But they're still going to have issues, that's the thing. Okay, these go a bit stiff though. I don't know how far we need to go with this, to be fair. We'll keep going to the clearing there and then judge it from there. And see. But this will enable us to get our machines through to go and clear the area of trees and stuff, and then make another road anyway. Because that's what this is entailing. But it definitely makes a difference spending this time now. What's the map say? So we're roughly getting to here, I think. Although there is a lot of wet bit here and here, to be fair. It does look really wet, doesn't it? Just trying to make our life easier as we go. So, how far did we go? I think the slowest part of building a road is this. Not laying the asphalt, the vehicle isn't quick, but it's the sand that takes the time. For anyone that's into Pokemon and Lego, has anyone seen the new Pokemon Lego that's been announced yesterday? Oh, it's madness. It really is. Some of the scalping that's gone on is incredible. Me and my little boy are both into Lego and Pokemon, and I was looking at them, what is the price-wise? It's just ridiculous. I struggle to justify spending that kind of money on a model. And my little boy will probably play with it, to be fair. Like, so the big one is the Final Evolutions for 3 Kanto starters, the original 3 from red and blue. But it's in UK, is it £650 in the British pounds, which is a lot of money for a model. And admittedly, it's 6,000 pieces, so it's big. It's still a lot of money, and justifying it in my head is a problem. Although supposedly they've all sold out, but people have already listed them online for over £1,000 each. They're not actually releasing. You won't receive it in hand until end of February. But people have already put them up for pre-sale online for over £1,000. So doubling their money at the very least. And then also with it there was a gift with purchase, which Lego do a lot. But this gift with purchase is the Kanto badges, for the gym badges for when you battle gym leaders in Pokemon. And yeah, that gift with purchase, value of it is £25 is what it says, and you only get it if you buy the big set, the expensive set, which is fine, apart from people who've already done it and with their pre-orders and now listing them on eBay for 3 times, well no, more than that. They're basically listing for about £150 as a pre-sale. So that's what, £125 markup essentially. My issue is the people that actually buy these things on eBay though, from these people, these scalpers, you know, they're not helping the situation by buying them, because Pokemon fans generally will do anything for Pokemon. It's an easy sell, but if people didn't buy them, they wouldn't be scalping. Okay, we're not in an active quarry site here. Oh, we're just outside it, to be fair. What I was thinking is to quickly keep sanding until just we hit firmer ground over there, and then we're going to quickly do this bit along here as well. As I say, it's about getting our vehicles to where they need to get to. Right, we're back in the lethal area. While I refill it, I just want to quick look at how far we need to go here. This is all really not good ground here as well, so I do wonder whether we should do this bit. Look at this. Yeah, this is not going to come. But our actual road, I think, is going there, isn't it? Once we clear them trees, we're basically building a road along here. So how far do we go of our road now, is the question. I reckon our road stops here for the time being, and at least we can always join to it if we need to. But I think where this junction is here is probably the best way to stop. I don't know about cables. That's my concern. Because that's obviously going to be a power substation. And on the map, I already saw we needed power. I think it was over here. We know the sawmill's going to need power. Ah, that's a good point actually. If the sawmill needs power, and we put a road along here, where are the wires going to go? That's the issue, because that looks like it's going to need power, doesn't it? What's this one here? Electric field to sawmill. So this is an infrastructure mission. I've got a feeling we need to lay the cable here first before putting this road in. Because if we do the road here, that's going to block, although we can come out here with the cable maybe. Just trying to look at where we can put it. I don't want to have to dig a road up once you make one. We've never had to so far, but this may be the first time if we're not careful. But although actually no, saying that, the power comes all the way to the edge of the forest here, so actually maybe not. I think we can get away with this road along here as well, because we can start the cable laying here and just work our way through here. So actually we're fine. This is why we've never had to do one so far. It's generally a way around it to some degree. Right, we'll do sand here. I do want to go a bit more further to the left over there as well. just because of how muddy that is. We don't know what else we need to get here, convoy-wise or otherwise. So we do want to make sure we can get here easily, essentially, and whatever we need to do. So we'll go join up over there and just head slightly to the left. Just see it through that muddy area there. Essentially going to roughly here, I think, because it does firm up a bit there. So we'll go roughly to there to join there, and obviously we're joining this across here as well. But yeah, we've yet in the whole game, base game and DLC, we've yet to have to dig on the road that we've placed. And the only reason really to do so will be to lay power cables, but we've always not had to do it so far. And it looks like we may avoid it again here. I know people have had to do it. We've always got away with it. I don't know if it's because of our placement of roads or the order we do things maybe. Yeah, we've always avoided it so far. Again, this isn't a road we've been instructed to build, but because we need to clear the area and then deliver stuff, we're going to need to be able to navigate this area. And the fact it's underwater doesn't help us. But yeah, the Pokemon Lego, as I was saying, there's only 3 sets now announced. They come out Pokemon Day in end of February. And the really expensive set, it looks really cool as well, to be fair, but it's just ridiculous, money-wise. The cheaper sets, they've got a Pikachu coming out of Pokeball, which looks cool. People have criticised the way it looks. Say it doesn't look very good. I think it looks alright. Obviously, it's going to be different when it's up close and personal, isn't it? That's the thing. But yeah, I don't have an issue with the way it looks. People are complaining about it. And then the Eevee's quite cool. My little boy's birthday's coming up at the end of January though. He loves his Lego. He got some for Christmas, but some of the ones he's asked for and didn't get for Christmas. There's a Lego Enderman, if anyone wants to play Minecraft. He wanted that, so we got that for him. To be fair, I took massive advantage of sales and things on the Lego website and stuff to get a lot of them, to be fair. Don't like spending money if I can avoid it. I always look for stuff on offer where possible. So yeah, he's got Lego Enderman coming for his birthday. And he's also wanted a Lego, is it a theme park or something? I bought that ages ago for him as well to have on his birthday. Right, we're just going to finish off going through this water here to there. Obviously we've got to be in the zone to refill, which is just where we are now, the edge of it. We may even have to put a road going to the right at some point as well, but we'll get to that when we get to it. It's not something that we need to do now, so we can always add if needed. This junction here is going to be the interesting one, trying to get this to work out, but we'll know more. We'll have to figure that out when we start flattening the sand, essentially, which is next. We'll be able to sort this junction out, I think, a bit better. I think that was just about the right amount of sand there, really, to be fair. Yeah. Okay. So we kind of hit the firmer ground there, so we'll stop the road there, I think, for the time being. If we have to add to it, we'll add to it, but it's kind of that bit done. Hit the scout vehicle there. What I'm going to do is park this up over here in the refill zone, get it refilling. I don't like leaving them empty when we can avoid it. Next up is the flatten him. As I say, all the vehicles are nearby. For this, we're going to use the Vostok Pioneer. This is the one you kind of get later on in the base game. The first one you get at the start of the base game, and you have it for quite a while before this one unlocks due to your leveling. Is okay, but flips over really easily. It's quite top heavy. This one, on the other hand, is incredible because it's flat to the ground. Looks like a tank essentially. It is brilliant. Plus, it spreads the sand wider, which makes a big difference when it comes to roads and being able to pass other vehicles essentially on the roads. So yeah, it does make life a lot easier. This is amazing sand leveler. There's only 2 of them in the game as well, to be fair, currently. But yeah, this is an incredible one to have, but you don't get it till quite late on, for those that are wondering. We may even need to sand this at the very least, some of this, because I think if we have to do a convoy with a Wayfarer, we'll have issues. Alright, sand flattening. Yeah, the asphalt destruction this has the capability of doing, we've never had to use. It's weird, all this way in the game. Base game 100%ed. DLC, final map of this DLC, and we've yet to have to use asphalt destruction. It feels really weird not having to use it. I kind of expected us to, but it's just not happened. So we've cut some of the corner just to make our life a bit quicker. When it comes to this road, what we'll do here, we'll go towards over here first. This is a sawmill. I say this isn't the mission that we're doing. Thanks for the like, video, much appreciated. This is to allow us to do the mission they want us to do with a little bit more ease, and also thinking ahead to convoys, knowing there will be some here. That unit over there, the truck shack, that'll be a convoy start or finish point. So we may even need to put a bit more sand to that area just there going to it in due course, but for the minute we don't need to, so we're not. But it just makes our life a little bit easier. The mud here as well, we may need to add to our road, which we can always do later on. That's the thing, whenever we lay a road we can always add to it later. So it's not the end of the world if we don't do it now. And we will be using the new tree harvester the minute we get to the next bit we need to do, which is the clearing the air of trees. We can lay another road to the power substation. So we'll use the new one, which again, would it have got here with all the water that was here without us doing this? I'm not sure. Hence why we're doing this, just to make our life easier, but thinking also long term. I think that's the secret to this, is think ahead, think long term. What do you think is going to happen? What's going to be needed next? Where do you need to go next? Because spending these time making these roads to actually make your life easier just make everything so much easier in the long run. But it does take time. I think that's why some people I've spoke to about this don't bother with a lot of roads that aren't asked for and aren't mission related, because it takes too long. But I just find it makes everything easier long term. So I don't mind spending that bit of time doing them. Plus, you're meant to be rebuilding the region. If once you leave the region there's no roads or infrastructure, how are they going to manage? Thinking from that aspect, you're there to help rebuild the community. But if you don't put any roads in, it's all well and good fixing the buildings. If there's no roads, no one's going to do anything. That's the thing. But yeah, I think the Lego Pokemon, I think I'm just going to wait until after release. I think currently, one, the scalpers have just got to them horrifically. It's not worth spending the money. My other half is not keen on me spending £650 on a Lego model either. It's like the one Lego model I've always wanted and I've not got is the Avengers Tower. And the only reason I haven't got it is because I can't justify it in my head. So the Lego Tower is like £500. I think it's around that. And I just can't justify it. You know, it would look incredible. I've got the Daily Bugle from Spider-Man. I built that recently, and that wasn't cheap, but I got that on a massive offer. So I didn't mind spending that, but spending that much on a model that is literally going to sit on the shelf, it's just, I can't justify in my head. That's the thing. And I only got into building Lego. I had it as a kid, obviously, but as an adult, because when I'm falling asleep on weekends and stuff, my other half will then get the Lego out for me, and I'll then do that, and it keeps me awake to a point. I have fallen asleep while building, to be fair, so it doesn't always work. But it's helped a little bit with the drowsiness and trying to stay awake, which is the reason I started getting into it. But it's so expensive. But the Pokemon stuff, I think I'll just wait. There is no rush to buy it. It's not going anywhere. It's not like it's retiring anytime soon, and you're not going to be able to buy it. That's the thing. if it was retiring, you wouldn't be able to buy it. It's a different story, but it's like I got my other half Gringotts for Christmas. She built that over Christmas, and it's an incredible model. It really is. And that I got again on offer, so I didn't pay full price for it. And I think that's what I try and do the majority of the time with Lego, is not pay full price where possible. I also got the castle from Hogwarts, which is really Harry Potter, which is a big Harry Potter fan. And again, I got a good couple of £100 off that when I bought it. It's just looking out for these offers. So I'm in no rush for the payment. I know my little boy wants the big set, but £650. It's madness. It really is. I knew it would be expensive. It's Lego. It's a massive IP. Nintendo will charge a premium for Lego to have that IP as well. It's always going to be costly. But I'm in no rush for stuff like that. Models that sit on the shelf, I enjoy them, but it's just that. It's just going to sit on the shelf, isn't it? So there's no rush. Right, that is the sand done. We're now in the asphalt layer, tarmac layer, whatever you want to call it. It's both the same thing. We're going to lay this, then we'll get the roller here, and then we'll get our new tree cutter that was part of the DLC. They actually originally launched in November, then they had to take the DLC away again because it bricked a lot of save files. So on some people's games, they lost their save file when they downloaded the DLC. So they actually had to remove it to start with and put it back out later on. So it is now fully out. So we'll be using the new vehicles from that where possible. There's only a couple. It's a very wood-based or forest-based DLC, to be fair. But we'll use them vehicles. They may be rubbish and we may not like them, but I think to start with we'll at least try them, see what they're like at the very least. Now, I do want to go back up there in a minute, though we've done, it's laid pretty well. I just want to make sure we do that bit on the top a bit better. We'll swing this down to this way. Do we need more at the top? I don't know. Yeah, let's swing this round. This doesn't like hills very much, I must admit, but I just want to make sure we've got an edge. You don't have to have this edge, but it kind of bugs me if I don't do it as well as we can. And it was up here, we kind of got a bit offline that I want to try and just make sure is okay. Although, yeah, it's not liking it at all. Let's deactivate. Really not happy with the hill. In fact, I don't think oh wow, okay, we're not as offline as I thought. I thought it was massively offline when we put this down, but actually we're not really. Yeah, it's nowhere near as offline as I thought, to be fair. I thought it was a lot worse than what it was. I didn't really need to come back, but we're already here now. So we'll just do this edge. But yeah, I thought this was a lot worse than what it was, to be fair. But I was wrong. Trying to run off the sand a bit. There we go. Round the pylon. Okay, we'll head left first. Then we're down here. Don't have to do that edge. We know that when we roll it, it's going to leave an edge anyway, as it always does. But we're not rushing anything, so it doesn't matter. I'd rather make it workable and usable and look right than rush it and not. As I say, we may have to add to this anyway. I think there's going to be a convoy going to the truck shack over there, so we may need to do a bit more road that way. But for the time being, we don't need to, and all the vehicles are going to be nearby. It's not the end of the world to come back. Just turn around, and then we'll go the other way. And then all we're going to do is roll it, and then get a new tree harvester here as well, and see what that's like. But as I say, we'll give it a go. It may not be very good, we don't know. We'll compare the stats to crayfish when we buy it in a second. think it's got a tough task to be better than crayfish, to be fair. Just because I think I enjoy using the crayfish so much. I think the tree harvester looks very plain, and I don't know, we'll see. It may be better. I may be pleasantly surprised. Or it won't be as good, and I'll be like, ah, this is horrible. We just don't know. Right, can we get away with a single run this way? Probably. It is, the width of this asphalt layer is roughly the same as the width of the sand. I want to say pusher, but I know pusher's wrong. The vehicle we used to push down. It is roughly the same width to an edge. It does leave a little bit of an edge there, if you see. We are slightly over one side. But if you're in the middle, you can get it so it actually hits perfectly. And again, when we roll this, it will leave an edge anyway, but I just like to be neat where possible. Jake, man, good morning, how are you? How are you doing on this fine Tuesday morning? Yeah, interesting to see what the new tree harvester is like. The log forwarder is the other interesting one. We tried out most of the log forwarders in the game, I believe, now, and I really struggled with a lot of them. Whereas the one we've been using recently worked really well. We finally found one that actually worked, and I could handle it pretty well. And obviously now the concern is this new one they've added. Will it be as good as the one we found we can finally use, or will it be like some of the others and we'll struggle with it? So it'll be interesting to see the difference. We don't actually have somewhere to put the logs for the minute, but I've got a feeling we're going to need to move them out of the area from where we need to clear for the road to be built. So yeah, I'm not too sure what we're going to do about that, to be fair. Doesn't like that bit of sand there, does it? Come on. There's a lot of mud here, which is not like it. I think there's only two asphalt layers in the game, and both of them are very temperamental when it comes to mud, hills. They don't like things like that. They do struggle with things like that. So it's not a surprise this doesn't like that edge bit. We could have gone a bit more with sand maybe. I think we may need to, but I've got to leave a gap for the time being in case we do need to lay cables. I'm just allowing for that future job that may be required, so then we don't have to destroy anything. Yeah, still at it. Still final DLC map. So we're getting there though. We are getting there. Mike, good morning. How are you? Started the down 37% on this map. We've completed one mission and now we're just trying to get the infrastructure done to complete the second mission. Right, we're nearly there. Just got to go left here at this junction, asphalt that, and then we'll get the roller here, and then we can get a new tree harvester here. So there's new DLC for new maps and new vehicles coming in March, from what they've said on their roadmap. So yeah, new DLC, new maps. Sorry, there is more than one, I believe, coming in March. So you've got a bit of a wait, unfortunately, but yeah, they are coming. At least I'm just glad they're still supporting the game and adding more to it. That's the thing. And like the new DLC with the woodwork vehicle, we're going to try them out today. Was a bit of disappointment that they went with wood, or forestry equipment, I should say. It's not wood, is it? It's forestry. I would have rathered other vehicles, like something better than the Wayfarer for long haulage. I think would have been better. But they decided to go with forestry equipment. We'll find out today if it's any good. But yeah, looking forward to new maps. Yeah, we played it last week, Mike. We played it twice last week. We did it Wednesday and Friday last week. Unless you mustn't have joined us last week then. As I say, this was last week we were last on this. Okay. yeah, a Wednesday and Friday last week we were doing this. But yeah, unless you didn't join us last week, Mike. I can't remember if you did or not, to be fair. You need to check out the community page for the schedule for the week, Mike, so you know what we're doing and when. You don't really have to watch the scheduled video. That's just, I have actually said about taking that away, and people, we did a vote on it and everyone said keep it, so we'll still do it. But the scheduled community page post, if you want to know when the live streams are, that's the best one to look at. The video is more for if you want a quick chat with myself first and then episodic kind of times, but we're kind of struggling to get that stuff up going at the minute. So, as I say, fell asleep yesterday afternoon while eating lunch. Just struggling massively. But including things over different maps, just fun. That's the thing. There is that replayability, isn't there? You know, you're done with a map when you're done. We try and 100% everything, but on top of that, you know, you're actually done with the map when you're done. It's your decision, isn't it, when to say, I'm done now. Because you could go off and do other things. You know, you could lay a road everywhere, fix every single road. If you had that role-playing element of wanting to make sure that, you know, the region can fully get around everywhere. You could recycle all the debris. So there's no debris left over from whatever event happened on that map. There's loads of things you can do if you want to just keep playing around. As I say, and plus the mod maps, we're going to try and have a look at them when we finish the DLC, I think. So there's so much replayability in that side of things. Good morning so far. Good morning so far, Mike. Yeah, definitely, and that's why we're building a road now that isn't actually a requested road. And it's going to make our life easier in the long term, but also you kind of know where convoys are going to start and finish. So planning ahead when you've got vehicles and the equipment nearby to make convoys easier does make a big difference, I feel, as well. By this road through the swamp, you know, without this, I don't think we'd navigate over here as easily. We've been doing the schedule for years. I'm surprised you've not seen it before, Mike. But yeah, you can't have been here last week then if you didn't see RoadCraft. So this is the second roller. There's 2 rollers in the game for flattening the asphalt. This is the one you get later on when it's locked behind a level cap, I believe. Remember correctly. This one's wider than the base one, a little bit quicker, and because of the way it moves around, a little bit easier to manoeuvre around corners and things. Be a bit more exact to where you're rolling as well. The stuff you get late game is definitely an improvement on the stuff you have early game as well. I know you get the rusty vehicles early game, then you buy the non-rusty version. But there's definite improvement as you go through the levels and the stuff that unlocks by the level cap. Definitely notice the difference. In not just your speed of being able to complete jobs, but also how they work themselves. Okay, if we have to do a convoy here, we may need to extend that road to at least this hard surface here. We'll have a look and see if we need to at some point. Just see how the roller there was skidding around a bit. But at least we've got through this water trench towards the substation. At least that's going to help us long term. As I say, we need to get forestry equipment through to clear the 3 areas, then build a road there as well for the power substation. We've left a gap for putting cables in for what's going to be needed later to the sawmill, because I'm pretty sure we need to get a sawmill linked to the substation. But we're getting there. Thing with this is everything takes time, but it's one of those chilled games where you can just chat away. I really enjoy streaming this because story-wise, there isn't a massive amount of story going on whilst you're in the middle of a task, so you can just chat away about anything and everything. It's a nice time to unload, I find. Okay, this is activated. You now have to actually activate the roller. We never used to when we first started the game. Now you do. This isn't quite as wide as the actual asphalt layer. As you can see, we're going to have to go back and forth a few times. This also does push the asphalt slightly out, if you see it moving a little bit there, but it always leaves an edge. So we kind of plan for that when we're rolling, so we still get quite a decent amount of width by planning for the fact it's going to leave an edge. I don't mind the edge because you're not professionally building a road fully, are you? You're putting in a stopgap road kind of thing. So I like the fact that, you know, there is an edge still there. Okay. What we'll do, we go on this right hand side. We've got to go back up the hill as well. Because obviously there's another bit we've got to go back for because this isn't quite as wide as everything else. Sometimes this can take 3 runs to get the width right. Sometimes you can do it in 2. Generally it's 3. You can see there the gap. Especially if you're trying to keep it close to the edge. The wider these roads are as well, the easier it is to overtake, especially when you've got the AI hurtling towards you. The AI does not stop for anyone. It will just keep going towards you until you hit it. So it's always nice to have that width to enable you to manoeuvre out the way when needed, because you're the one that has to move, not the AI. But I do think the AI driving this is pretty good. If it could stop for vehicles and allow passing and stuff, that would be better. But I think all in all, compared to a lot of other games that use AI driving, I think it is really, really good. They've programmed it really well. You compare it to the likes of Farming Simulator, the AI drivers in that have improved over the years. But I do think they've taken a step up here. The majority of the time, there are times and occasions where they do go wrong, and you do look at them and go, really? What are you doing? But the majority of the time, they're actually really good. You got a haircut today, dude? Nice. I need mine doing, but at the weekend, I couldn't go out. I couldn't put shoes on because my foot was so swollen. So I'm hoping to get one last weekend, but I may have to try and do it this weekend if possible. It all depends on whether I can put shoes on or not. Okay, cool. I don't quite know why the time that you got it matters, but cool. Okay. So turn this around, head back. We've got to go to that left bit as well. I'm trying to do it in a kind of a pattern so we know that we don't have to go anywhere while not rolling, essentially. That's kind of what I'm trying to do. Can we do this in 1? You can. So this will be done in 1 essentially, I think. Yeah. If we keep it roughly in where it is now, we'll get this bit done in 1. I don't know why, maybe we didn't spread it as wide here, the sand, or there wasn't as much sand here to spread maybe. So we didn't quite get the width we've got elsewhere. Or my lining up was just poor and that's why we've missed little bits, to be fair. Okay, go this way. Yeah, we may need to extend this road at some point, but currently, for what we need to do, I think it's perfect for what we need to do next. There may be an extension to it at some point. Depending on where we need to go next, that's the thing. Trying to turn in this mud is not fun. This roller does not like turning. It's all this mud. It's not getting stuck though. For the weight of this vehicle, it's not getting stuck in the mud, it just doesn't like turning in it. Yeah, no worries, Mike. Have a good sleep. Thanks for dropping by, much appreciated. I'm sure we'll speak to you soon, Mike. Thank you, Mike. Yeah, here we can't do in 2, no matter how across I go. So that one there must be thinner, for whatever reason. We must have made that a bit thinner. Maybe there's not as much sand down there, potentially. Once it's done, like I say, tree harvester next to clear the area, and then we've got to build another road going up. and then we'll see what the next main mission is after that one, after repairing the substation. But there is a side mission to do as well, and we try and swap between main and side, so we'll probably jump on the side mission after this one. But this one, the mission it's showing us currently isn't the full mission. We know there's more to it based on what it says, to be fair. So there will be more from this mission. Yeah, we head up the hill now, and then we'll come back down the middle of the hill to the bits that we might miss, and then we'll make progress. We're nearly done with this road, so we can get the new tree harvester out. Again, not liking the hill there, is it? So this, I think, will make our life easy, especially the cut of the corner will help us as well here. Right, back down the middle, and then we've got the middle to the left and then the middle to the right, and that will be job done. This isn't a mission road, this is a road we're putting in by choice. Make our life a little bit easier in the long run. Move up there. Okay, make sure we do the middle bit. At least all the equipment was nearby after building this road swamp, to be fair, the last stream. Nothing was too far away, essentially. Yeah, I've got a feeling in some of these roads we're going to have to extend and add to in due course, but for the minute it's enough to keep us going. And adding to them isn't too much of a hassle. But yeah, that's nicely done. Like I say, the truck shack to our left there, then we know it's going to be convoy at some point, so we may need to extend into there. But we'll get to that when we need to. Right, let's just deal with this bit here. I think that's the thing I really enjoy about this, is the variety. It's different jobs. Obviously, I've seen a few people complain that after a while all the jobs kind of are the same on each map. They are, but they all have different challenges based on the conditions. But I also like the fact you can do things like, I've chosen to put a road in here to make our life easier. It wasn't dictated to. It was a choice on my part. Some other people may choose not to, and will just navigate through the water or maybe go through the forest. I like the fact that you've got that choice. Right, we need to stay in the middle here. And that's what makes, I think, every playthrough unique in that way, is your choice of what you do. We still haven't looked at trophies. We don't know if we're going for platinum. We normally... Did I look at trophies? I can't remember if I did now. We normally do it after finishing the main story. We may have done. I think one of them was to collect all the barrels and all the toys, and because of that I don't think we're going for platinum. I just think that'd be so time consuming and boring. I don't like doing boring platinums when possible. I don't mind some collectibles, but I just think after a while it just gets annoying. So one biggest reason we haven't platinumed Avatar, to be fair, is that we don't need much. I think there's like 2 trophies remaining. We never platinumed it because of the ones that are remaining are just annoying and boring to do. So, and we're currently sitting on 20 platinums. We only gained 1 platinum last year for the channel. We didn't. I don't know why we didn't do more than that, to be fair. But yeah, we only managed to do 1 in the end. So that might be something to look at this year. Maybe get a couple more platinums under a belt. Go out to the 20 the channel currently has. But I'm just going to drive this. Because I know we're going to need another road. Okay, maybe not. That fell away quickly, didn't it? I didn't realise there was such a hole there. I don't know if we can, low gear's going to help us. Right. So we've got a scout vehicle nearby to pull us out. I didn't realise that was such a drop. That caught me by surprise, really. I was just trying to turn for this junction here to go across where the other vehicles are to park it up. I don't know if we can actually join this from the front, to be fair. I've not tried towing one of these. Oh, we can, that's fine. I weren't sure if we'd be able to be fair. Towing on, so it goes as its own steam too. Can we move it? That'd be a no. Low gear? No. I may have screwed the roller up. Okay, I'm going to take it off low gear and just see if that makes a difference. A bit more speed maybe. It did move it there, didn't it? Problem is, it's reversing every time we go reverse back to get the speed. If I put brakes on, let's just try pulling it. That'd be a no. What about handbrake off, full speed and pull? That's also, no, hang on. It's nearly. Come on. Seemed like it was nearly there then. Did seem like it was nearly there, didn't it? Okay, let's detach. I'm going to give it one more go. I think we could probably get it out with one of them, with the crane and stuff. We really need to. I'm going to give it one more go. And if we can't, we'll go back to the crane. We don't need to do it now though. There is a crane nearby. Towing off, I'm just going to reverse up. Try and go full speed forwards with towing on. Towing on. Yeah, I think crane is going to be needed. So we don't need to use the crane now. Although I probably should, just so we do it now and don't forget. Just can't quite get up that lip. Yeah, I can't quite get up the lip. I didn't realise that was such a drop there, to be fair. I just want to see if we can't reverse it, we'll quickly grab the crane and deal with it. No, look how it just hits the bottom. The back end is hitting the floor there. That's the problem. It just can't quite get the grip needed to get out. Saying that, crab walking it, I may actually do this. No gear on as well. I don't think it's close to being out, but it's just not quite enough, is it? Full speed. No, it's not quite enough. We can't go down either. Okay, not an issue. We have a crane nearby, just over here. The crane. We'll do it now, just so I don't forget that that's an issue. Sure we'll need to use a crane at some point nearby. We may even need it if there's any rocks to move in the clear the area place anyway. So actually doing this now is nearby. But yeah, I didn't realise the drop off was so large there. Got to be a bit more careful then on that cornering because of that drop off. And then we need to get the new tree harvester here as well and see what that's like. But yeah, we should be able to pick this up fairly simply. Slight error of judgment there. There we go. Easy peasy. Let's park this up. I need to park this somewhere where it's not going to be too far from edge as well, don't I, really? Go over here. There's the Aramatsu. We'll jump back into this. Obviously we want to park this up as well. Let's try to fall off that edge this time. So just up here, we're parking near the other vehicles. We know we've got to build another road once we clear the 3 areas. We've got to replace the road that's damaged and gone. So we know that we're going to be needing this in due course anyway. Let's go here. Obviously, if we need to, we have got a crane if we do get stuck again. Right, that is that road complete. That's going to make our life easier now. So now we head back to the Highland base, and we want to use the new tree harvester. Obviously, the crayfish has always been our go-to, but there is a new one came with the recent DLC. Like I said, that originally released in November. But then they had to take it away because there was a game-breaking bug in it, and it was now been re-released last week. I think it was, maybe a week before. So the crayfish sits at 5244 according to the stats, and the new tree harvester is this one here, is a 5244 as well. So it's the exact same as the crayfish. 20-meter tree scanner. We'll have to have a look at that in a minute and just see what the difference is in terms of the size of the tree scanner, but it's the exact same stats. Just basically a tractor unit with a tree cutter on the front of it, isn't it? 31,000. What has now been brought? The crayfish scan is 20 meters as well, so it is the exact same. There's no difference in capability. I think I like the way that looks more, the crayfish, and I think it's more maneuverable because of how the wheel setup is. But this is the one we're going to use as its DLC, and we haven't used it yet. So we need to drive this through the swamp, and we're heading to the radio station kind of area where we just were. And we're going to clear the area of the trees. We'll also use the new the log forwarder next as well to clear up some of the trees that are in the way in that area. We'll use this first and foremost. There's three areas to clear. All need the trees going. There may be rocks as well, we don't know yet. And obviously we'll grind the stumps as well, because then I think it requires a road afterwards as well. It's not too far a journey to drive these. It's not particularly slow, to be fair, compared to some other vehicles. There are other vehicles a lot slower than this one. I suppose the downside to this one compared to the crayfish, straight away I'd say this is quite top heavy. Whereas the crayfish is longer, the layout of it is, flatter and longer. So that danger of going too quick around a corner isn't quite there with the crayfish. We've never really experienced it anyway. And I'd say the wheels are a lot bigger, the front wheels on this are smaller. But it's quite solid to the ground. It's not tricky to drive, it doesn't seem like it's going to fall over any point so far. I think it's just a tractor unit attached to a crane, isn't it, essentially? Or a tree harvester, sorry, rather than a crane. So we'll take the road through the swamp. I wonder what the reach is on this compared as well. What else? Tree scanner, camera mode. Yeah. And well, this has got anchors. I don't think does the crayfish have anchors? I don't think it does. I'm trying to think. No, it doesn't. It's got a handbrake, and that's what goes on when you cut tree. This has actually got an anchors on it. I think that's what's on the back there that you can see. So this can plant itself more in the ground when it's cutting trees in an area, whereas the crayfish, I think, as I say, it's quite long and stable anyway, so maybe that's why it doesn't require the anchors. I don't know if the anchors will help when lifting the really heavy trees, because there's some trees you lift with the crayfish that just drag along the floor because you can't lift them. I wonder if this with the anchors will make that will be different to that, maybe. Definitely doesn't look as good as a crayfish. The handle's okay. We'll just see how it goes. As I say, the stats are the exact same, so it shouldn't be any different in terms of what it can do. Although, to be fair, it's cutting down trees. It's not rocket science, is it really? As long as it can actually cut and as a blade, I don't see there's not really going to be much it can fail on, really. Be interesting to see how it handles certain terrain, though. Crayfish have never really got stuck, I don't think. It's handled the terrain pretty well. And obviously, you would generally get more grip with the crayfish because there's more wheels. So there's more area for the wheels to grip, essentially, because there's more of them. Surface area is what I mean. Whereas because of less wheels, you've got less surface area to find the traction on some of the roads and some of the conditions. So I think that will be a difference. But we'll take the road for this one. We haven't really checked this area out too much. We know we've got to take the trees away from this area, but we don't really know what else is there. Not liking that here, is it? Kind of caught us up a little bit there. We've got a crane nearby if we do tip this over, so it's not the end of the world if we do end up tipping it over. I don't think we will though. It's not. It looked top heavy to start with, but it doesn't feel top heavy when you're driving. So that is definitely a plus point. Right, we're going left at the junction here, and then we'll head to this area to clear the objects. This is why we built this road in the first place, to make this journey a lot easier, because that was underwater previously. So if we have a look on the map, so we're going to follow this on and then curve around to here is where we're kind of going. We may end up extending this road to join the other one depending on what we think of this bit here. It may be a case we need to join the two. This is, yeah, this is still quite awkward by the looks of it. Very deep mud up there at the very least. It kind of levels out a little bit here. I'm just thinking ahead for convoys essentially. If a convoy needs to come this way, this needs to be better. We can see the first area we need to clear. Yeah, it may be a case we extend our road we was done onto this one when we build this road. Okay, this is the area we need to clear. Some of the smaller trees we won't need to, it's the bigger ones. Well, that one there can just be pushed down. Okay, let's cut the tree. That's our first cut with the new tree harvester. Now ideally we want the logs. Oh wow, okay, you can see it moves the whole thing there. The anchors may be required here. My thinking was we need to put the trees out of the area that we're currently in, so that it doesn't affect it. Although we are going to bring the new log forwarder over anyway. But my plan was to get them out of the area, to be fair. I'm struggling to lift this up. Let me just put anchors on. There's our anchors. Can't lift it. So we were talking about the heavy trees previously. I can't actually lift this tree up very well. I think we want to leave it there for the minute. We will bring the tree forward over the new one and see what that's like. Try and make a pile of trees if we can. So what other trees are on our list? So these ones here, none of these ones are on our list. There's one to the right. I don't think we can get it from here though. Definitely different to use than the crayfish. Trying to get the right angles and stuff. Yeah, we're not close enough to that one there. Anchors. Obviously the stump will need to grind away as well in due course. The anchors definitely make a difference. It definitely feels, I think we need to go closer. It feels unstable when actually cutting the trees. So the anchors do make a difference. Not going to give us the right connection for that, is it? Don't think this has the reach that the crayfish has either, to be fair. There we go. So I had to get right close to it to even do this, whereas normally I would have reached it with the crayfish from further back. I think that does have a tree in it. I know it doesn't, you can't see it. There is a tree. Just it's kind of gone weird. Right, our spot for trees is behind us. Bring this round. Yeah, definitely not as easy to control as the crayfish I'm finding. Definitely prefer the crayfish, I think. Yeah, definitely not a preference, this one, I don't think. Okay, next tree. Again, it's not cutting it for any kind of distance, is it? All showing green there a minute ago. Not allowing me to cut that one. It was green a second ago, and now it's gone away again. What's the issue here? For some reason it's not liking that tree. But it's on our list to do. I may have to get the crayfish here, to be fair. We said we'd give this one a go, but definitely not as good as a crayfish. The reach is poor. I think that's half the issue, is the reach. LVs, good morning, how are you? Yeah, prefer the crayfish massively compared to this. The reach isn't helpful and it's just awkward. As I say, this is one of the new ones that came out as part of the forestry DLC recently. But yeah, not a fan. I think the anchors is okay. Obviously it means you're more solid on the floor when you're doing things, but it's not needed in the crayfish. I think the crayfish is more expensive though. That's the thing. Right, see if it actually lets put anchors down. I want to forget the anchors are down, that's the thing. Right, well, let's do this tree over here. It was having some issues allowing us to cut this one. And still not... Oh, there we go, just. How close you have to be before you can actually cut. Yeah, I think JCB would have been good. The tractor unit, I can see what they were doing, and this is probably used on farms, to be fair, more than anything else, as an attachment to your tractor. It makes sense in that regard, but yeah, it's just so awkward because you have to be so close to what you're cutting. Whereas when you've got something like the crayfish that has the reach it has, this one just feels really awkward. We'll persevere though. I obviously want to use it and give it a fair shot. Currently, I would say no. Nowhere near as good as a crayfish. Crayfish is worth it. What I didn't check actually though while we're here, let's quickly go and just check price, because actually that does matter. I'm curious on price, to be fair. So the new one is that's the new one we're going to use it shortly. The Aramatsu. It is 31,000. The crayfish is, so the base one is 22,000. That's the base one. That isn't very good either. The crayfish is 54,000. So 54,000 to 31,000. So a bit of a difference, to be fair. Yeah, 31 to 54. What's that? 23,000 difference. So price-wise, there's a difference. Definitely worth every penny. Crayfish, absolutely. I'd say the other issue with this one as well, compared to the crayfish, is maneuverability. It just feels awkward to maneuver. Whereas the crayfish, I've never had an issue manoeuvring it. And look how close you have to be. That is ridiculous to how close you need to be to actually cut a tree. I'd say, if you're farming, this would be perfect, I think. And it's probably used more in farming, to be fair, because it makes sense as an attachment to your tractor rather than a separate piece of kit. You already have your tractor, you just need to buy the attachment. But in general, in this, it's just awkward. But we use the log forward as well. That's an Aramatsu by the looks of things, so it's tracked, which is different to all the other ones, which are all wheel-based. You think they're more of a gimmick, do you reckon? Do you think? I wouldn't say it's a gimmick. I don't know, I think there is a use for it, and I think in real life these probably exist. But I just think they're more farm-based than this kind of reason to use them. Well, a lot of these will be non-cut trees. That one isn't, though. But yeah, I wouldn't say it's a gimmick. I would say it's, you know, if you're in an area that doesn't have access to proper equipment, like the crayfish, an attachment to your tractor makes sense in that regard. Because you know, if you're going to an area like this that's been devastated by flooding, and you need to clear trees, the local farmer may have a tractor. And if he already has the unit to cut trees because he clears them for the farm, it works in that regard. I don't know. I disagree with that slightly. I do think forestry DLC wasn't needed, admittedly. I think they could have done other vehicles than a forestry equipment. If you can change the attachment, yeah, if you can change the attachment as well, that would be massive. But yeah, I think there was lots of other vehicle choices and types they could use over a forestry one. I do think this wasn't needed. The forestry equipment we had already in game works. There's enough log forwarders in game. There's 2 different tree harvesters if you take this one out of it. You know, there is a decent amount of choice, I feel, already for doing this kind of work. This also seems to be glitching. So we have a tree in the prongs there, but it's invisible from some angles. It's back in focus again now. So it's a little bit glitchy, I would say, as well. This is already here though. I could drive the crayfish all the way here, but I'm not going to waste that time. We'll just keep using this. I say it's awkward. You just got to adapt to the way you cut trees. Whereas with the crayfish, we know we'd just get them from a distance, stay in one position, and do as much as we can for that one position. This you need to drive around more as well. You can't just stay in one position and hit 2 or 3 trees in quick succession. You actually have to drive to each tree, which obviously slows you down as well. That's the thing. But yeah, I like the idea of changing attachments, to be fair. But that would be more you borrowing the equipment from a local farmer, wouldn't it? That's when that kind of works in a roleplay sense. The controls of it aren't brilliant either. Trying to get it to go higher. We are moving around a lot only because I've not put the anchors on. It's fairly stable though. Without the anchors you can see it moving around, but it is staying on its wheels. I did wonder if it'd fall over really easily, but actually it is fairly stable. Okay, what one's next? There's one to the left there, isn't there? Let's do with that one. Obviously some of those trees will be knocked down rather than cut down like this one here. But yeah, I don't like how close you have to actually get to the tree. That's the bit I really don't like. Yeah, we'll see. As I say, I think, obviously, I think there needs to be another long hauler like the Wayfarer, but not as awkward as the Wayfarer, something that has better grip. Off-road. I don't know how, I don't know if what a real one exists in real life, to be fair. They may not, they may all stop. Whoa, nearly lost it there. It did put the anchors out in time there. It's the first time it's got really unstable, to be fair. But yeah, I think something to kind of go against the Wayfarer, you kind of need a 2 of each type of vehicle minimum, I would say. And the Wayfarer, there is no real competition for it, and it's rubbish. So there needs to be competition. That's the thing. There's a lot of stones here as well. I wonder if we've got to move those. Although there's no thing on there for the stones, is there? Because we know we've got to put a road in here. But there's no arrow on the stone to say they need moving, to be fair. We are making a decent pile though. And we've got the new log forwarder to use as well in due course. We'll remove all these out of the way. Right, how are we doing with trees? Obviously stump grinders nearby, we'll bring that in to grind the stumps. Just trying to see how we're doing tree wise. Still a few. This is one of 3 areas we need to clear of trees before we build the road as well. I think we may start making a second pile now just outside the area. Save us driving all that way to that first pile. I think we put one on the left hand side here. It's probably a good shout. Let's try and put logs in a pile where we can. Again, nearly going over there. Yeah, Tom. Yeah, it's one of those though. You're using a tractor unit, your grip is going to be limited. The crayfish works well because the amount of wheels it has gives it a greater surface area on the ground, so it's always going to be more stable. But yeah, this one's just all. It's just yeah, I don't know. As I say, I don't like how close you have to get to the tree. That puts me off immediately. Because it just makes life awkward. But at least they've got anchors on it to help you stay stable, especially when processing the tree. That's when it seems to be a lot more unstable. It's being processed. But at least they've put the anchor on to actually get around that to a degree. Grip wise though, it's not too bad. It's not sliding, it's not struggling. In the conditions though, it's not bad conditions really here, but it's not struggled so far, which I was surprised by. I thought it might and it hasn't. That's pleasantly surprising. So the only thing that's really done is when processing trees it gets a bit unsteady. As long as you put the anchors on, it doesn't seem to matter. You can stop it happening. No, rain's on. I don't want to. I've not messed with any settings that have been added. Obviously, we can't add in damage now. Damage and fuel can only be added on a new save. Obviously, none of that's been. I've not touched any of that, and I don't want to touch the rain either. I kind of think if you take it off, you're kind of taking away some of the atmosphere on some of the maps. I know people complain. Some maps there's too much rain, but the rain doesn't affect the floor, it doesn't affect the ground or anything, so it is just an atmosphere thing and a visual thing. So yeah, I've left it on because I don't want to mess with that element of it. You know, we've had it from the start, we might as well carry on having it. And I've never really felt there was too much rain on a map. I know people have complained about it, it's just not something I ever felt was an issue, to be fair. What about you? Have you turned off on yours, have you? It don't seem so bad now. Yeah, I think they've probably tweaked it a little bit. I've never really had that much of an issue, to be fair. As I say, I know people have complained some maps are really bad for rain. I've just not noticed it as much. And I don't mind the rain. Like I say, it adds atmosphere, I feel. But, yeah, I don't really see a reason to change it. Okay, I don't think we've got too many more left to do in this first area. Then we've got to grind the stumps. Our stump grinder's not too far away actually, so the log piles may not need moving immediately. So the log forwarder we want to try out may not need to use it straight away because we haven't. It's a long way away to put them in storage, the logs. So I think we'll hold off if we don't need to move them out of the area. The ones we've placed on the other corner may be in the area, may not allow us to clear the area fully. So we may need to pick those up, but these ones will be fine here. We haven't got a reason to grab logs yet. There isn't a mission that requires them. There is a sawmill nearby, but it needs power before it's up and running anyway. But I guess we'll need to get logs there at some point. And at least then we'll use the new forwarder to see what it's like when we do that. I think if they did the forestry equipment they've put in, this, the log forwarder, I think there was a third thing, weren't there? I'm sure there was 3 vehicles added in. Oh, it was the Malamute version, wasn't it? They did a different version of the Malamute like they did with the mule. It's the one with the trailer, I believe is the new one, is it not? I think it is. A trailer that's actually not used for anything because there's no reason to. It doesn't actually add anything. What was I saying? But yeah, they didn't. I'm surprised if we're doing a forestry DLC, you'd think they'd add in a new stump grinder. I know we've got 3 different variations, but that kind of goes with forestry equipment. So I'm surprised they didn't add a new one in, to be fair. It makes the game as bad on some. Yeah, like I say, I didn't really notice it as much. I kind of felt, I never felt it was too much, let's put it that way, in my mind. But I can understand people getting annoyed with it, to be fair. Right, is that all the trees here done? I think it might be, you know. I know it looks like there's still trees remaining, but obviously a lot of those can be pushed over and actually don't count. You can't actually cut them. They don't show up in a scan. Let's give it a quick scan. I think it's just the grinding to do. So we'll drive this further forward to where because we know we've got to go elsewhere next with this. In fact, we may be on the wrong side. We may have to go the other way, but we'll just park over here, out of the zone, because that's our next point of call there. In fact, actually, we get to it from here, don't we? So that's where we're heading next for the next clearance, and then here, and then it's a road needs building, I believe, according to what it says. Stump grinder, though, our stump grinder is currently here. This is the Aramatsu kite. So yeah, is there a choice of, is it 2 or 3 stump grinders? Can't remember offhand. This is the better one. I think like 2, to be fair. There's the one that has the disc sitting horizontally, and there's this one. There might only be 2. This is definitely the better of the 2. The only thing this struggles with is angles. So if you've got an area that's on a hill, this can struggle in terms of not getting the right angle on the grinder, whereas the disc one that sits more horizontal is a lot easier to manoeuvre and use on hills. So we may struggle with this one, the area we're doing at the minute. All depends on the incline and to what the angle's like when you go to grind stuff. Whereas obviously the horizontal disc one, you place it perfectly on the actual stump every time. It's not an issue at all. So stats wise though, this one is better. Amazingly, that the tree harvester we were just using, the new one, the stats on that are the exact same as the crayfish. So manoeuvrability, weight, capability, they're the exact same as the crayfish. which, considering how it's completely different to it, I'm surprised by. What we'll do as well, the other trees you can still see here that need to be pushed down, we'll grab those while we're here as well, just so we clear the whole area properly. If we can anyway. We may just end up pushing them, but I'd rather they weren't here so it looks more clear. Because when you're clearing an area and you've got trees like that still here, it seems a bit weird when you're clearing the area in the first place. I need to go up a little bit here. Why are you not... mulch was on, why was that suddenly stopped? Yeah, this can drive over some stumps if you're not careful. If you go too high as well. You're going to need to hit them until it stops on the stump until it's grinded away. Okay, all these rocks here as well. Although it doesn't say we need to clear those, strangely. Obviously it doesn't say clear them, we'll leave them for the time being. Why are you not... how come that's turning itself off? That was on a minute ago. For some reason the mulcher part is turning itself off. I don't know why. I wonder if it's when we push a tree over. Is that what it's doing, I wonder? Can't mulch here. Is that now it's turned off? Yeah. So every time we push a tree over like that, it's turning the mulcher off. As long as we know we just need to put it back on every time. It's not actually putting a marker on the logs over here that says that they need getting rid of. So we don't have to pick them up immediately, depending on how we're going to do this road, to be fair. Well, I'm trying to be careful not to grab the logs there. But yeah, it looks a lot clearer now we've got rid of some of the trees. Yeah, we need deactivating the mulcher, it seems. I will keep pushing them over, I'm not overly worried about it switching itself off. Now we know anyway. So I'd rather actually look clear than not. It looks a bit weird if you clear an area but actually there's loads of trees still around. There you go. Okay. Definitely looks better now we've cleared it properly with the trees. Alright, more stumps. It's going to tell me off again now for doing this. There we go. Have put it back on. You'd think we'd be able to just mulch these trees away, wouldn't you? I know they're going to disappear anyway now. It's actually done okay on the hill, to be fair. We've had issues previously with this where it really struggled on hills to get the right angle. This one is not really mattered too much, it's done really well. Pleasantly surprised by this. I thought we might struggle a little bit with this one. Now, we know we're building a road next to actually connect these three areas that we're clearing. What we need to think about is the join between the three areas. You're not on. No, you're off again. I think I'm over the top of it. There we go. Okay, we've got one stump to do here. think this is the last one. Mulch is back on. There we go. First area complete. We'll just knock these trees down as well. Mulch hasn't deactivated this time. So when we move on to the next area, we just want to have a look and see what we're going to do on the way there. So there may be more trees than what it's taking us to clear. If we leave that for a second. The next area then is up this hill here. Now this is the remains of the old road here. There's lots of debris and rocks around that may need manoeuvring off this. So that's something to think about. Again, trees to clear, and we will be putting a road in because that's what it's telling us. We need to clear the trees and build a new road. So we don't know the exact route of the road. If it's a mission road, it's going to actually have a layout for us to look at and use, and that means the AI can do the sanding. It's always a bonus. But it means that we don't know exactly the exact route we need to follow yet. But in thinking about that, we need to think about this bit here to up here. Do we need to clear anything on the way, is my thinking. We'll jump it back into the tractor unit, the new tree harvester. So these rocks on our right hand side here may be a case that we need to get rid of them, because they are going to be in the way, I think, of any road we try and build here. This tree here as well is in the way, essentially. So we'll clear that now. We're going to have to clear it when we put the road in, so it makes sense to do it now. It's kind of awkward to see exactly where we're going with this road currently. You can't really see. Oh, maybe I think it's literally on this bit here, to be fair. That's what makes me think them rocks will need to go. I am just going to do this here. If we need to pick it up in due course, we will. I think it's out of the way enough, though. It won't matter. And it's there if we do need to pick it up at the end of the day. Yeah, I think the rocks will be in the way, because I think we're going to be heading straight up there. We have got a crane nearby, so it's not the end of the world. We've also got the scout who can drag them if need be. But as I say, we do have... It's the first time I've reached one from a bit of a distance. We do have the crane nearby as well. Although I'm surprised it doesn't say clear them now. You'd think it would, to be fair. But it wasn't, they weren't in the clear area bit, the ones out here anyway. But you'd expect it to say clear them, wouldn't you? And the trees we're clearing now aren't actually on the list. I'm just trying to see our way up here, basically. And it may be worth grabbing a crane now and clearing these out the way in advance. We're going to have to do it no matter what, aren't we? It means we can get past with our tractor unit and stuff a bit easier as well. Let's do that. Let's grab the crane. We know this is going to need doing. I also think these probably need doing. These are from the landslide from here by the looks of things. Because this road, I've got a feeling will just go straight through here by the looks of things. So let's grab our crane. Crane's a little bit overkill probably for this. But it just means we can put it in one position and clear all the rocks down one side easily enough, rather than having to keep manoeuvring around for individual rocks. The thinking is we just place them to the left, essentially. But I think this road is going to be up here. There's one part of the logs. So these rocks here is my thinking. And we're just going to place them literally to the left. As I say, I'm surprised it hasn't asked us to do this anyway. Although maybe it's one of those things it just expects you to do when the road is actually defined, or where the road's going. Maybe that's what it expects. And until the road is defined, it doesn't matter so much, but it saves us time if we've already done it. Because we are guessing exactly where this road is going to go. That's the thing, we don't actually know for definite. But an educated guess tells me these will be in the way. Maybe a bit more over. There we go. But if everything's on the left hand side, if we need to pick anything up, at least it's all there. The one thing I think this game misses to some degree, I know it's not probably something that's used massively around the world, but actually a facility for breaking down the rocks. Because they do use them in concrete and stuff like that. I know we have the concrete recycling plant on most of the maps. But breaking down the rocks maybe to hardcore or to grind them down to concrete themselves. I know obviously the concrete plant runs on recycled concrete, but it should be able to grind down rocks. At least it'd be another reason to move rocks out of the way as well at times. Too high, that's why it's not showing anything up. So sometimes you leave rocks where they are because it's annoying to move them. You just get round them. But actually having somewhere to recycle them and actually to do something with them would make sense. I'm not 100% sure how much it's actually done in real life though, that's the thing. But concrete plant you would have thought would be usable with them because obviously they've grinded down to the concrete. Thank you for the like, but much appreciated. I haven't even looked at the time for that. Oh, loads of time left. So we started the day at 37% done on this Washout map, on the final DLC map. I don't think we're going to gain a massive amount of percentage, mainly because it's a lot of infrastructure we're having to do first. We did complete the mission with the 4 bits that needed added up to the oil well. That was done first thing. We split into 2 loads after messing up last time trying to take all 4 at once. So that was done first thing, but yeah, I can't see us getting a massive percentage today based on so much infrastructure to do. But yeah, I do think if they could do something with the rocks, that would be nice. Be a nice addition, I think. Each map has its own focus. This map's focus is the bridge vehicles and utilising them. I just wish we'd known about replenishing the bridges on the bridge vehicles via exchanging metal beams for the bridges before we brought 5 different bridge units, because that's how many we have. We have 5 bridge units and they're not cheap, but again we could sell 4 of the 5 if we need to or wanted to easily enough. Last stone from here. And the bridges should stay where they are, because we know we can buy replacement bridges. They shouldn't disappear, so we could sell 4 of the 5 if we really wanted to. Thing is, at this stage, money's not a problem. Make sure that's all of them. I think that's all of them. There is a big one there, isn't there? Change camera. Don't know if that's going to be in the way of the road or not. Let's just, we're here anyway. Grab the big one, it's done then. I think the ones to the right there from the rock slide will be fine where they are. I think this one may have just been in the way. There we go. Okay, move up to where these are. I may need to move the units out of the way. Don't grind on that. We'll clear these rocks as well. Do that left hand side again. There's a tree there that needs knocking down. In fact, we'll go past these. There we go. So my thinking is we just go to the left again. Doesn't need to be too far away, just out of the way enough. We're not going to be in the way of any road we put in. So if we decide to roll down the hill, then so be it. It's always nice to pick rocks up without actually moving the crane. Or the arm as well, to be fair. a bit further out. There we go. But I'm interested what new vehicles are coming in March. As I say, the roadmap says about March being 2 new maps and new vehicles, but I don't think I've seen anything to say what type of vehicles they are. Obviously, if they've just done a forestry update, added in the new forestry vehicles, which so far aren't very good. I wonder what I felt really heavy. I thought I'd have connected to the tractor unit or something. I don't know what they're going to add next. As I say, long haulage, so instead of the Wayfarer, which will rival the Wayfarer, would be good. Crane wise, I don't think we need any more cranes. I don't think we need more scout vehicles. So I don't quite know what they're going to add in, to be fair. Does anyone have any ideas of what vehicles they would like added, or type of vehicles at least? It also depends on what the new map's kind of signature is. The first DLC map is all about contamination and trying to get rid of the contaminated material and the barrels that had it in when the train crashed without them exploding, and obviously we failed on every single one because they're so temperamental. But that was a new thing to be doing. So depending on what the signature of the maps are, probably will depend on what vehicles we get, but I'm curious to see what we're going to have. I can't really think offhand of something we don't have many of that we could do more. Obviously we've got 2 rollers, I think that's plenty. I think, what is there, 3 asphalt layers, which is plenty. I don't think you need much more choice than that. I think cranes are fine, scouts are fine. I don't really know what else needs more of, other than the Wayfarer, to be honest. The other vehicles that were added in with the previous DLC, not the forestry one, but the actual release of Rebuild, we haven't used the majority of them. The oil tank, the fuel tanker, again, we've not used it, and because we can't put fuel on in our save, that was added recently and only goes on new saves. We're not going to use the fuel tank, I don't think. We've actually we've driven one from one area to another that the AI, the computer gave us as part of a mission. But in terms of buying the vehicle ourselves and using it, we haven't needed to. And I can't see us ever needing to. Obviously, if you start a new game and go back to the base game and you put it on, that setting on, then yes, you're going to need it. But for us, because we can't use that new setting, I'm not sure what use it really has. And there's a couple of other vehicles like that as well that you don't need if you've started from the beginning of the game, unless you replay every map, of course. The same as damage you can now put on, which I think is brilliant, but it should have maybe been on from the start. We would have wrecked so many vehicles, admittedly, but it's the kind of thing I'm surprised it wasn't there at launch. Same as fuel. I think fuel should have been there at launch, to be fair. There's one there. Give me one right underneath me. Thank you. And then we'll get the ones further there. And there's a couple of stumps here to get rid of as well. Wrecking ball crane. Oh, that was it, wasn't it? Demolition, yes. You are right, we had seen something. Demolition was the big thing, wasn't it, for one of the maps? So that's going to be interesting. A wrecking ball will be cool. To be fair, I completely forgot that was part of what they'd said. Yeah, so at least one of the maps there'll be some demolition involved. As this DLC's Rebuild, isn't the new DLC Demolition? Or am I just imagining that? It would be fun, exactly. Let me just double check. I'm pretty sure. I want to say it's Demolition. RoadCraft. May come under roadmap. So the Timberworks pack is the stuff we're seeing now. Doesn't say. That was December. DLC roadmap. March 2026 expansion 2 brings a wrecking ball feature for massive destruction, new vehicles, plus a third expansion focused on truck modding and new maps. Truck modding? I don't quite know what that's going to entail, to be fair. There is also a third expansion coming after March. Haven't said anything about it. New maps, missions, vehicles for March include a Miley Cyrus approved one, and a highly requested Wrecking Ball for Unprecedented Destruction. Oh, expansion 3, which is after March, focuses on truck modding, new vehicles and maps, expanding player customization and variety. So some of that could be really interesting. Destroy and rebuild, exactly. So are we then going to be demolishing like partly remaining buildings to then have to put a road through there maybe, or something like that? I don't know. Change tyres maybe, yeah, you can maybe put better tyres on, more grip in places. Yeah, player customization will be an interesting one to see what that actually entails and involves. Obviously you can change the colour of your company now, and that you can put it on your vehicles, which is why vehicles are the colour they are. Wrecking Ball, yeah, it depends how it's done. Obviously, if you're destroying buildings for the sake of destroying buildings, it seems pointless. There needs to be a reason behind it. So a bit like a building's been really badly damaged in a storm or whatever natural event has occurred, which is why you're there to help rebuild. You need to knock down what's remaining and then rebuild them back up. Because we have built up places by delivering stuff and getting things in different areas, so maybe that is what it's going to be. Because it is part of what we've already done, we just don't knock the original one down. So it'd be interesting to see what that is. And the player customization. Vehicle modding is an interesting one as well. So vehicle modding doesn't mean the mods hub, essentially. It means we're going to be able to change vehicle dynamics in a way. So I wonder what that's going to entail. That's the thing. Right, we're done. That is all the rocks in this area removed for the time being. So we'll fold this up. Move this slightly out of the way over here. I think we're going to need it as we keep going to these other two areas. But for the minute, that is done with. Right, we have this quickly to get rid of these two stumps. And then we'll go head to the next area of the tree. The forester, and take down the trees in the next area. Obviously we'll try and cut down the trees on the way there as well if needed, which I think will be by looks of things. Let's just park this here for a minute, because I think that tree there may need to go in due course, although actually maybe not. We're heading this way. There is a load more rocks to move here, which we might have to do first. But let's grab this. As I say, we could drive the crayfish all the way here to help, but we're already here with this now, so we'll continue using this. Right, let's see where exactly we're heading. Because it looks like we're heading up here. Okay, so it is through here. So there are a few trees here. We're going to quickly remove these as well. I'll get the angle quickly to say yes. There we go. I'm just thinking if we do these now, it just saves us having to do them later, because we will need to move them out of the way for the road, I'm pretty sure. And again, we'll just put everything to the left. That way, when we come and pick it up, it's all on one side, essentially. Remember anchors, otherwise we may have some issues. I think the two trees that are there in front of the other vehicles, they may need to go as well. Looking at the road surface, I think. That one was showing up then, it's disappeared. This one on the left, okay, let's quickly grab this one because it's now showing up as able to be done. But yeah, this will all need a road going through here, so we might as well clear what we can on the way. There's no point coming back and having to do it if we're already here. It makes the most sense to do it now, although it's not telling us to do it. Hopefully everything's moved enough to the left, but when it actually puts the road marker in, we're out of the way enough. We won't really know though until it does it. The anchors definitely help when you're processing the tree with this. Without them, it can get a bit awkward and careful and nearly fall over. Just how close to the tree you have to be. Definitely cleared a large area though for this road to go back in. And the whole point of this mission, from what we read, the road is here. It's just been destroyed with the event that happened, which I think was flooding, was it not? I think it was flooding. And we'll see the remnants of the road further up, I believe, as well. It is very janky as well, this cutter on the front of this tractor unit. It feels really janky anyway. Yeah, we're heading where them rocks are to our left, that's where we're going. I will take this one away. In fact, we'll do both of these. They may not be in the way, but I think we're here now. Let's just quickly get rid of them. Doesn't like that, does it? There you go. Wanted me to be a bit closer. Yeah, the one to our left there will do as well. We don't. I think it might be out the way, but we'll just clear it. It's done then. This tree's too heavy. Doesn't like it. Again, it's these extra things that, you know, we don't necessarily have to do. We could just carry on clearing the areas it's heading to, but this will be needed anyway at some point, so the road fits. So may as well do it now. Yeah, this is very janky when it comes to trying to position the crane, the actual cutting part, back in place. More of a mission to destroy and rebuild. Yeah, definitely. I think that would be quite cool. Just needs to be implemented correctly, doesn't it? That's the thing. And obviously the company has a good history of things like that. Just hopefully they do it justice. Well, as I say, I'm glad they're still supporting it. I was a little bit concerned that maybe it didn't have the player base they were expecting, because it is very niche games like this. Snow Runner, Mud Runner, Expeditions, they're very, very niche games that a lot of people won't enjoy. They want full-on action all the time. This isn't for them, kind of thing. So your market is limited. I think there's definitely a market for it, the same as people that play Farming Simulator and things like that. But it's just, is there enough people that are interested and do play it? That's the thing. I don't really go on forums and stuff that much, so I don't really know how people are taking the game as a whole anyway. There may be a massive community that I'm just not aware of, to be fair. Okay, these are all trees that have been pushed over than these ones here. And that one. And this is the old road that we can see here. This is where the road was originally before it got destroyed. The only thing here though that's awkward, I will say, is this bit. So this bit here, we're heading to the right, aren't we? So these rocks here are now in our way. I thought we was going to be going up on that bit over there, but we're not. So it's these rocks now need manoeuvring. So let's get this out of the way for a minute. We will need this again in due course. We're just trying to get to this second area for the road. I'm going to quickly get rid of these stumps, because there's one right here to our left. There we go. There is one right in front of our crane over here as well. So most of these may be out of the way, but I don't like doing half a job. That's the thing. If you want to do a job, you've got to do it properly. Come down. And there's just two to this side over here. I think that's all of them. We cut down 5 trees here because by the amount of logs that are there. I think that's it. Yeah, we use the crane next to move the rocks away so we can keep going, clearing the way forward. Make that lower. Is that all of them? it is. Can't see any more for the minute. Yeah, this road we're going to create is going to be interesting, I think. Okay. Crane them. I'm glad we brought the crane over now, looking at what we've got to deal with next. So all these rocks here, we need to get them out of the way so this pathway can still go. And then we're heading into there next. I think once again we can just put these to the left. They don't need to go far, because our road isn't going to be over this bit awkward bit over here, is it? That's the thing. Can't imagine it making us do a road there, to be fair. If it does, I'll be very surprised. But yeah, Wrecking Ball could be really good. I was hoping we could just not move the crane, but... So I think there's a lot more to come that I think is going to be really interesting. Hopefully they implement it well. And so far they've got a good track record. That's the thing. Okay. Move out of the way. This is currently the only main mission we have as well. We've got one side mission on top of this, and that is to deliver stuff on the radio station, which is actually up the hill on our right hand side where a lot of this debris come down from. That's where the radio station is, and that needs delivering to a different area to our left, I believe. Which we'll do next once this mission is fully done. But this mission isn't showing the whole mission as of yet. It's showing some of what we need to do. And then once it's done, it will move on to the road, I believe. It may even be a convoy after that as well, that we can set up and get going while we're doing the side mission that we've also got. But we'll do the side mission after we finish this main mission. We'll try and do one after the other where possible. Okay, there's one here. Just want to quickly grab this one. And then the rest is just them ones over there. Probably could move the crane forward a little bit, to be fair. As I say, it'd be nice if we could actually do something with all these rocks. There is a lot of them. And on a lot of the maps, they're just there. You're just moving them and that's it. That was a big truck to put them in. Because that's the thing, if we destroy a building with, a building with the Wrecking Ball, do we then have to get rid of what's left? But let's move this forward. Might as well make it a bit closer. Yeah, do we need to get rid of the debris that's left over after destroying whatever the building is? That's the other thing. So will we see things like, not necessarily a skip, but like a dumper truck that's not for sand? I don't know if they're called anything different, to be fair. But that would be an interesting one, I think. Because you can't just leave the debris on the floor once you've destroyed a building. It's going to need moving, isn't it? So it needs to go somewhere. It'd be interesting to add that ability, and then vehicle-wise, something to carry the debris. Because if you knock down a house with a Wrecking Ball, and then everything just disappears, I think that's a bit disappointing. I think you're going to want to actually deal with what's left, aren't you? Even if it's a few bits of metal beams that you can reuse, that would still make sense. That's the thing. It's trying to keep as much realism and immersion in the game as possible. The big thing they need to do, though, with the upcoming stuff in March, at the very least, is add in the woman that talks to you during the main story. We need her back. Because this DLC has felt very flat in comparison to the main game, because you have that lack of storytelling, essentially. And yes, okay, we read it ourselves, and that's fine. But I think she added a massive amount of immersion that we're now missing. So hopefully they bring her back. Why can't I get these two? Oh, I might have been too high to be fair. But yeah, it's a shame that it would have been in the first place, to be fair. Shows how bad I am with names. I can't even remember what the lady was called. That's why I keep saying the lady. I am horrendous with names. Right, this is the last rock, I believe. We'll have a proper look around in a sec. But then I think we're moving into that area now to clear them trees. And our path is also now clear. Right, let's just double check. Change the camera. Yeah, no rocks there. We're all clear. Obviously, we need to park this out of the way. Tractor unit has to come up next with the trees out there. We're probably going to have more rocks to deal with in due course, I think. So let's just go over here. There we go. So I never turn engines off. So switching engines off was also a new feature standard recently, and I don't do it. We didn't have it at the start of the game. I've never seen a reason to turn an engine off. I think if you've got fuel going on, then it makes sense. But because we can't add the fuel into the game on our current save, and I'm not going to start a game just to add fuel, there's not a real reason to turn engines off. Sometimes it does do it automatically, admittedly. But yeah, currently there's no reason to turn them off. Well, we need to place these somewhere where we can still get to them, but they'll be out of the way of any road. We'll try here. They may roll, they may lose these ones a little bit down the hill. It might be right. No, it might stay actually. But uneven ground probably will help. There's a tree to knock down here, and then one to do. There we go. Is that a rock leaning against the next tree? I think it might be. To be fair. As you go up further up the hill, this is feeling a bit more unstable than it was at the bottom, to be fair. But yeah, we probably won't use this one again. We'll only still use it because it's here. Otherwise, I wouldn't be using this vehicle. I'll go back to the crayfish. Right, some more stumps to clear there. I think there's going to be some more rocks to clear here as well, by the looks of things. Interestingly, the rocks haven't got an arrow on to get rid of them, which you would have thought it would have on, because they're going to need clearing. But for some reason, it doesn't. That's weird that they don't do that, don't have an arrow on them. But we'll clear them out of the way. Obviously it makes our life better and easier. It doesn't seem the logs are an issue if they're still in the area. It's the actual trees and stumps themselves that count as needing clearing. Okay, so stumps there to get rid of. And then there's the next set, those rocks is there as well. And then we've got our next set of trees. What we'll do, remove these ones to the left as well. The road will run straight through here, I would look at. I would guess. Obviously we don't know the layout quite yet, but that's what my guess would be. So these trees we'll put to the left over here. There's no point in heading back down. Just keep doing these to the left. Because the road won't go on these rocks over here, so they're not going to be in the way, that's the thing. Just making sure they're not in the way of anything we build. Okay, and one over to our right. I'm not sure we can grab it. Oh, we might be able to. That rock is leaning against it, obviously. Depends if it'll allow us to get the grip or not. Don't really want to turn on a slope like this, but we should be alright. See how stable this really is now. It's not the easiest thing to manoeuvre the front of this compared to like the crayfish one. I do find crayfish so much easier to manoeuvre. Press camera instead of handbrake. There we go. I'm just going to put the anchors on because we are on a slope and awkward. Right, anchors. Oh, they weren't on. I thought I pressed them on, to be fair. Be careful on the slope. We are on now. We might have to be a bit careful in doing that stump there, that we don't grind these away. If we lose them, we lose them. There's plenty of trees on the map. If we do need logs at some point, it's not like we're going to run short, I don't think. There are plenty around. Okay, this tree here. Come on. We need the green light. There we go. I wonder if maybe you're meant to use this in reverse rather than in front of you. Like you reverse up to a tree to cut it, maybe. Thinking about where it's positioned, obviously when you're driving it'll be in front. But I wonder, because of the way it's kind of angled and things, I wonder if we are meant to be approaching trees from behind. Just thinking of how much range that has. Obviously that you'd have a lot more reach if you reversed up, essentially, rather than us doing it. We're doing it from the front because that's what we're used to with the crayfish. But I wonder if maybe you are meant to reverse up the trees with this. Because that would make a bit more sense, I think. Okay, well, set up 3 here as well. We'll make another pile to the left. Instead of going back down the hill a little bit, we'll just make a pile here. Watching out for that tree stump. But yeah, I wonder if that's where we're going wrong here a little bit. Because this should be done from reverse. Because it would make sense. Let's try that now. Once this is done. I wonder if we should be doing this on reverse. Especially with the anchor down as well. I don't know, it feels more unstable with it in reverse. Oh, look at that. Reach is better though. Yeah, we've been using this wrong the whole time then. Our reach is completely different when it's in reverse. Again, I probably should reverse round to process this. I'm not going to, but we probably should. But yeah, we have been using this wrong then, haven't we? I just had a thought that maybe our reach is the issue because we're not using it correctly. And actually it does make sense. Because otherwise we'd really go nose up to every tree. Which doesn't make any sense at all. But having this backwards does make this a bit more unstable. But it does increase your reach. But it makes sense. It's just something we hadn't clicked on until now. And I think it's the same as processing the tree. We'll do it properly. Because I think that's how it's intended. I didn't think about it until just now, because the way it drives with the actual cutter in front of you. I just assumed that was the way we just used it, but actually it makes a lot more sense to reverse. And as I say, gives you your reach back essentially. And also the anchor now being where it is makes a lot more sense. So now we reach this back. And process there. Yeah, see, look at that. Completely different vehicle. Using that, to be fair. That is it's a completely different vehicle now. I know I've criticised it. I don't think it's as good as the crayfish, admittedly, by any stretch. But it is a different vehicle when you use it like that. Okay, anchors. We do need to put this somewhere because I think we're next up clearing rocks and stumps. Let's have a look down here. Because we've got the next area is through there. So there's going to be more rocks to clear here as well to get to the next area. It's definitely a long-winded mission this. There's quite a bit to do, but obviously it makes sense that all this debris come down from over here. So jump into stump grinder next, because once this is done I think we're going to need quite a few rocks moving. The ones here need doing, but also ones further on. We should be able to get to the stumps though first. The trees are all here to be collected when we need to. What are we stuck on? Right, stump grinder running. We have knocked down quite a lot of trees already. Well, let's just turn itself off again. Every time you can't mulch somewhere, it turns it off. Definitely more aware of it now though, so that does help. Rather than wondering why it's not doing what you want it to do. Yeah, usual thing with tractors, it doesn't like lifting this up, turning while driving. Although I think it's because the stump grinder was too low. Wow, time's flying now. I was saying earlier how, you know, there's plenty of time left. We've got about 40 minutes. I'd like to get this mission done if we can. There's quite a lot to it though. But we'll see what we can do. I think I can grind them logs, but that's what I'm trying to avoid. Oh, there's one to the right here, isn't there, where these rocks are. Turn around in a second for that one. Don't know if we can get to this where the rocks are there. Yeah, we can. There we go. Right, a few more and then we'll bring the crane in. We probably could push some of these rocks out of the way rather than crane, but crane's here anyway. Can mulch here because there's a stump there. Yep. Turn off again. Okay, last one, and then it's crane time. There we go. So that second part now complete. Try and park this behind the tractor unit, out of the way of the crane essentially. There we go. So second part done. Obviously we're working our way towards the third part now, the third area, which is up here. Still don't quite know. I'm guessing we're connecting to this road here, although there is a bit of a hole there. We don't quite know exactly where this road connects to fully. So next up we're going to remove these rocks here, maybe these ones, and then through here open this up here, and then it's just trees through here. I don't think there's any more rocks after that pile there, so we're getting there. It is taking us a while, but then the whole thing, there's a lot to do I think to actually get this area running, so it's always going to take time. So this is our next set of rocks. Again, they should just be able to go to the left. Because I don't think any of this will be used for the road itself. It'll probably stay more in the middle. Yeah, things like making the rocks go over the vehicle like that, if we had damage on, probably would do damage to us. But it wasn't an option when we started playing. I like the fact they've added it. It's a shame it's not save game compatible. But I think it would change the style of play completely. Especially with fuel as well. Because some of the long journeys we do, because fuel's not an issue, it's not on existing saves, we don't really think about it. And that would make that new vehicle, the fuel carrier, a lot more needed, essentially. So I'm surprised they didn't have it on at launch, to be fair. It seems an obvious thing to have. Break the rock down. Exactly, that's what I was saying earlier, you know, either grind it down for concrete, as you say, for gravel would be good. It's something you have to use and maneuver around, that you can't use for anything, which seems a bit weird. You know, it'd be nice to be able to use it and not just leave it in a pile by the side of where you are. Yeah, I wasn't thinking gravel, to be fair, but gravel's a good shout. I was thinking more grind it down for concrete, because we know we need to use that. But yeah, you're right, gravel, hardcore, foundations really, you've used some of it for that maybe. There's quite a few uses for it, and things you could do with it, but currently it's just not a thing. Instead you just dump in a pile and leave it. But this is where I think Wrecking Ball may change things a little bit. I think that may add them kind of things in. Yeah, some don't have a concrete plant, you're right, that's a good shout. Yeah, some don't. I don't think there's one on this map so far either, to be fair. Obviously, I know none of the bridges are unlocking, because he wants you to use the bridging vehicles. But yeah, it's a good point actually, if there's no concrete plants. But then would there be a gravel plant on every map? You know, that's the thing. But yeah, you're right. I do think it's something that would be handy if they actually did. I just don't like leaving things in a mess, and a pile of rocks to the side seems a bit weird in the grand scheme of it. Yeah, bridges to other vehicles. I think now we know we can replace the bridges, because as I say, we've got 5 of the bigger bridge vehicles currently on this map. Because we didn't tell us for ages that we could actually just buy a replacement bridge part to go on the top. Otherwise we wouldn't have bought 5 of the things. Why is it? Okay, they don't move. I thought them ones over there move, but they don't. So that's the rocks here done then. But yeah, bridging vehicles definitely have a use. And we've used it on the previous map, to be fair, as well. I thought this rock here moved, but it doesn't. That's solid. Yeah, that's solid. Okay. So the road will come through here, my guess is. And then over this hill, this crest. I think these rocks can be manoeuvred. I think we only need to manoeuvre 2 of these, in all honesty. And they just need to go more to the right, if anything. We just put them on this ledge over here, as long as they don't roll down. I think that's all they need to do, is just go on here. Yeah. And there's one more here just to manoeuvre. They may not be quite in the way, but I just want to make sure. But I would like to have the ability to build all types of bridges. Yeah, so this map currently, I don't know if it changes later on, but you can't build bridges on this map at all, as it stands. Whether it's something we get later on, I don't know. But as it stands, we can't. Which makes sense to a degree, but then you've got the metal beam facility, the steel mill, sorry, and you've got a sawmill, and normally they're the prerequisites to actually being able to do the bridges. So if you've got those on the map, why can't we make a bridge? Whereas normally until you unlock them on a map, you can't build a bridge, and once they're unlocked you can. But then, like I said, the issue with having all the bridge types on every map is where's the materials coming from? You know, if you don't have a concrete plant, how do you build a concrete bridge? They're going to stay there. Not really. I think we need to put it on this ledge up here. There we go. Although you can buy the concrete slabs, can't you? That's the thing. I suppose if you just buy them from the sell place when you needed them, you wouldn't necessarily need a plant that way. But yeah, it's just adding that infrastructure in that allows you to make them, the materials and things. But if you can buy them, we did it on a previous map when there wasn't very much concrete to recycle and we could find, so we just bought the slabs we needed. Don't roll down. That's fine there, actually. These don't need to be far, they just need to be off this bit of road, because I've got a feeling this is where it's going. Because it won't go on that really hard area to our left. It's going to be on that bit where these actually are currently. That's where the road's going to go. There we go, one more to go, and that's it. This bit ready to go, and we can get through. Ah, give me it back. There we go. Wider wooden bridges, yeah, that's true. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the thin wooden bridges, to be fair. I like the wider ones personally. Find them easier to manoeuvre. Stay. Yep, cool, done. Right, there is some more rocks just ahead of us. Are they in the way though? These ones here. Yeah, possibly in the way. Just about, anyway. I think they're going to be close to being in the way. So let's just manoeuvre these out of the way while we're here. Again, they don't need to go too far. We can get them on this ledge over here. They're out. That's enough out of the way, I think. We are kind of guessing on where the road is going to go. But it's an educated guess, really. These may just be out the way, but I'm just making sure. Okay, good at that. And then it's the last area to clear of the trees and the stumps. Stay. Yep. Got to slow down the cycling through the options there, really, so we don't keep missing what we're after. Stay. Perfect. I think that is everything out of the way for the time being, at the very least. So we now need to move this out of the way, really. There's more trees to cut down over here, but I can see a building in the distance. Well, obviously we haven't been here yet, but it looks like there's a building there. There's quite a lot of trees to cut down in this area as well, by the looks of things. I just need this out of the way. Might actually be better off back up here, out of the way for the time being. I just thought I want it out of the way so when we build the road we don't have to move it again, in theory, is my thinking. I'm probably better off going back out here, I think. This ledge here, we can just go up onto it, I think. I thought we could get on. I'm just trying to make sure we're out of the way, but can't. I thought we could get on that ledge, we can't. And the plan was, if this was out of the way, you wouldn't have to manoeuvre it again when we start building the road, but actually, I think we might have to. No, maybe not. This is all, this flat bit here, we probably go on here. Obviously, you want it nearby in case we need it again. I don't want it in the way of what we're doing. The handbrake is on. There we go, stop now. Rolling away. Right, tree cutting time again. So we've now worked out reversing with this is a better way of using it. We've been using it wrong the whole time. But we didn't know. It kind of makes sense, to be fair. So we'll use it properly, essentially. And reverse up and around where we are. Okay, so lots of reversing essentially. Where's our pile of trees? Probably to that bit over there to start with, I think would be a good area. Yeah, wider wooden bridges would be handy. Need to remember to put need to remember to put anchors on whenever we're doing that kind of thing with the trees. Oh, we got to come further in. Okay. There is a tree right next to us here. There we go. Don't. I did just press anchors right at the right time there, I think. Yeah. Anchors, don't do it. This tree's too heavy for it by the looks of things, doesn't like it. Process the tree. Rid of it. Oh, it's because I was flat on the floor. I didn't realise we'd gone flat on the floor like that. There we go. It's not in the perfect positioning, but I think it's out of the way enough not to worry too much. I didn't realise this was on the floor. There we go, the other things have moved. As we said, reversing it is, I think, the proper way of using it, but it just gets it really out. It makes it really, not uncomfortable is the wrong word. Less solid. I know that's not what I'm trying to say, but it definitely feels less comfortable to manoeuvre this way. But this, I think, this is what it's intended for. I think more than anything, it's remembering to put the anchors on. It does make a big difference. But yeah, I'm curious to what's going to come in the third phase then as well. We've got Wrecking Ball next, and some new maps with that. Obviously, that says we're going to be destroying stuff. And then it's what's after that. I think there is a lot of possibilities to this. You know, there's a lot of natural events that occur that need homes and stuff rebuilding. So I think there is a massive scope for what could be added in that regard. Right, let's put the anchors on. We may as well process this here. We're already here. I will need to get rid of the stump though, actually. And the pile's not quite a pile now. tree down. There we go. A lot of that debris will disappear in a second. Right, well, straight ahead. Straight behind over here. I don't think some of these trees are going to be in the way of our road, personally, but they still need clearing according to what it's telling us to do. We'll just lay a line across this left-hand side again. Anchors on. There's no point manoeuvring too far if we're clear, just leaving along this left-hand side. I can't see a road going down this side. I'll be very surprised if it does. But yeah, I'm hoping there's a mission in due course that needs loads of logs, because we're going to have a lot of them here. That's the thing. Can we reach? We can reach, but it won't show up as we can do it from here. There we go. It allows us to do it there. But we're getting there. As I say, it's been quite a long-winded mission this. They're 37% we started with today. We're not going to be anywhere close to adding too much to that. We may touch 40, and even that's a push from the mission we did first thing today. But this is what happens sometimes. There's lots of infrastructure stuff needed doing. Mission related and non-mission related. That will speed up that progression later. And obviously we would probably be quicker doing this in the crayfish. But since we want to test out the new vehicle, don't do that. Hit the stump there and then couldn't, wheels are off the floor. I still think we are right, this is meant to be used in reverse, but it's not liking it on some of the hills. Again, we'll put anchors on because then we can just swing around with the actual tree. There's a lot of weight on that back, that's the thing. It needs more of a weight on the front. I think you can see on the front of the tractor unit there is a weight on there, but I don't think it's heavy enough. I wonder if our road is going to that, whatever that place is. Is that a port, potentially, over there? There is something over there. Could be a port, I'm not sure. But I think that's where this road is going to be heading towards, by the looks of things. Should put anchors on first. That's why I should have put anchors on. I knew it was going to tip. So we're not really making a pile along this left-hand line, we're just doing a line, essentially. Obviously we don't know what's down that way yet. There may be somewhere we need to go at some point. Right, spin this round. But yeah, I think we are using this correctly now. That's the big thing. But yeah, it's not liking the slope. As I say, there's a lot of weight on that back end, isn't there? That's the thing. I think that front weight needs to be bigger and heavier. But it does explain the anchor a bit more. We are using the anchor a lot more now as well, that's the thing. Try and manoeuvre around the stumps as well. I am trying to make a pile, but it is just trying to get around the stumps to actually get it all in one place. Anchors down. Surprised these aren't rolling down the hill, to be fair. Although one has, I think, has been caught by the tree. Right, it's two trees together here. I should have done anchors first, maybe here. This may be a problem. Anchors. It's okay. Got there in the end. Extend out. There you go. We are kind of making a pile now. But that's as close as it comes to the back. That's where the issue lies, I think, with the weight. It stays quite a long way out. Hence why it can get really uneven. The anchors do make a big difference. Oh, past that other stump. Let's just remember to put them on more than anything else. So that's the edge of the area there. So actually we're nearly done with trees. And then it's just stumps. There's no more rocks to deal with either. So it will just be the stumps to deal with, and then we can look up where the road actually is going to go and what we need to do for that. So we are nearly there. As I say, it doesn't feel like we've got a massive amount done, but this has taken a while to clear this area that's wanted. This is part of the mission. But it's not something we could ignore because it's mission related anyway. Right, what do we got? There's 3 trees to the right there, I think, are part of what we need to do. And there's a stump. I think there's a stump there we've already done. Yeah, that's already done, that other one. Well, that went down there a bit quickly. Grab this one. That's a stump there, so we ignore that arrow. I think it's just those 3 to the right as well, to be fair now. It's not liking that. Here is it. See the front wheels coming up. The hill isn't helping, but it's also the weight. Well, I think it needs a bigger weight on the front, to be fair. Are they down or are they up? Down. Okay, 3 more trees. We probably will stick them to the right instead as coming to the left, as there's no point coming all this way with them when we can do it over there. So what we'll do, we'll start with this one over here. We'll just put them onto the right hand side, out the way, and then we'll see what he wants us to do after we grind the stumps. Obviously we know we're building a road, but I don't know exactly the road layout. We kind of need to check. There's a little hole in the floor over there as well, which is going to be problematic potentially for any kind of road going in, although we can fill it with sand. So we're not quite sure where this road ends up, that's the thing. We just know it's needed. And I think it may be a convoy to actually get the substation back up and running. It may not be us delivering the parts. Which if it is, we need to make sure the road is fully usable by the AI. Which is going to be a bit more particular than we would be if we were driving the parts ourselves. I didn't put anchors down, I thought I had. There we go, that's why we're tipping slightly. Right, last tree, and then it's stump grinding, and then we'll see what's next. How are we doing with time? Well, about 15 minutes, 15-20 minutes of the stream left. I don't think we're going to get it all done today. We are back with RoadCraft on Thursday morning. We won't have to wait long to continue on. anchors. Because then we can place this right next to the others over here. We haven't had a chance to use the new log forwarder yet either. It's an Aramatsu version, so I think it's the first log forwarder that's tracked as well. To be fair, interesting with that, you can't. So although we were saying this needs to be used in reverse, essentially, there's no button to automatically send the crane part back in place. Whereas in most vehicles you do have that ability. This doesn't, interestingly. Right, I'm just going to park this over here because I think we're done with this for the minute. I think with all the use of we've used it for, I still think it is rubbish. Compare it to the crayfish, it hands down loses every time. But it's done its job. We kind of figured out we need to go in reverse after a while. And that did make a massive difference, but yeah, it's still nowhere near the crayfish kind of capability. Despite the stats saying it's the exact same. But it's done its job, that's the important part. It has done what we needed it to do. Okay, stump. Get that front end up slightly. I don't really want to mulch his logs accidentally there, really, so let's try and avoid that. There we go. Oh, we got that one there. Let's turn this off again. It's on again now. There's two over here. One there. One there. Turn this off again on it. It enjoys turning us off, I've noticed. One there, and then one ahead. We also don't know if we're in a zone here for sand. We'll have to check that as well, because that may make this road a bit trickier if we're out of the zone for sand. I think we're going to be close to being out unless there's another sand place nearby a quarry. But we haven't actually looked properly yet to see. It's going to be a big road though by the time it's done, I think. We may still need to add it on to our other one we've done. I think it would be worth it just so it makes it a lot easier to navigate and also just a better surface to drive on, essentially, if we connect it to our existing road. Okay, what's left? A couple more and then we're done. And this mission will then change. I think this will turn off before we hit this one. Yeah. Because we hit the tree, I thought it would turn us off, to be fair. That's it. So now we need to... Oh, wow. Okay. It hasn't given us it hasn't given us a road to build like I thought it would. Is there one in infrastructure, maybe? That's the one over there that we haven't been near yet. There's a road going there we don't know about. That's from the sawmill. That's new. That's only just come up. I really... that's replaced pipes. What's that one? So, although this mission said clear it and build a road, it's not making us build a road. Instead, it wants us to do a convoy. Oh no, no, we need to drive the vehicle Oh, hang on. We need to drive the vehicle from there to there. So what is this road all about? Okay, that makes less sense than I thought. So we thought, from what it had told us, we were clearing this area here for the substation all the way up. Where are we? Hang on, where are we? I keep turning the map, so I've confused myself. So we were building a road from this substation through here. That was what the mission told us to do. Clear trees and build a new road is exactly what that says. Then deliver a truck loaded with wires. But where's the road? So although we've cleared this for a road, it hasn't told us to build a road, which is really confusing. The truck we're delivering is here. So to get that there, we need to go through this swamp, which again now needs a road, which can then go to the repair shop that's there. Then you come down here and do another road through the swamp potentially. Or we connect this to here and then come up here. There is an existing road here. Obviously this is all swampy there. Come round here. But there's no road. And yet it told us we're building a road. How does that work? I think what we do, we're going to jump in. I want to scout out ahead of us. I think we may still build a road here. That's the thing. It's really weird to have done that. Considering it says on there, in yellow writing, clear trees and build a new road. But it doesn't give us the road to build. As I say, we may still build one. Because there is a building, there is something over here that I just want to quickly have a look at and see what it is. We'll grab the scout though, I think, just to make our life a bit easier. So we'll just have a look what's ahead of us there, because I think we may get a mission for a road once we see the building, maybe. I'm not. Oh, hang on, what's this? Oh, is this where we need? That's where we need to deliver the truck to. This area here, for some odd reason. So if we're delivering the truck to there, I don't understand why it says build a road though. You know, cleared all this area. It makes sense to put a road here, but you'd expect the mission to do it. Maybe it will come up as a road though, once we've got to the other side area, maybe. Because it may not have added the infrastructure yet, maybe. Or maybe we deliver the truck first, then we do a road? I don't know, to be fair. If we don't need a road, we won't spend the time building one, but why did we clear... No, that was lucky. Why did we clear all this area of trees not to build one? That's the bit that makes no sense. Right, we just want to scout ahead and just see what we're dealing with down this way. As I say, there is a hole over here to be careful of. See it there. And another one here as well. Okay, actually, I can't get across there, I don't think. So there is something there, some sort of plant. There we go, it's there. So this road used to connect, but obviously now not so much. There's a connection point there as well, and that goes around to the left. Yeah, this is something. It's like big by the looks of it. But okay, if it's not making us build a road, then maybe we don't for the time being, and in due course we may need to. That's really weird. But to deliver the vehicle from over here, what vehicle are we using? Oh, it's a... What is it? It's a it's a Wayfarer. So the Wayfarer, as I've said plenty of times, is the worst vehicle in the game. Only has grip on asphalt or tarmac. It doesn't like sand, mud, water, anything. If it hasn't got tarmac, it's going to get stuck. Now, we have a tarmac route here that stops just there. So we need, our forest base is here, so putting a road in isn't too bad because we're already near our base. We don't need to move stuff too far. The only issue with that is where do we go with it? So we need to get that to here. Now, we did already build a massive road through the swamp here. There is a road that comes up here. Again, the wayfarer won't be able to use this. There's a big hole in the road just there. And this road goes down to here. Again, more holes in the road. And then comes round into the swamp. So I think whatever happens, we're probably going to need to build a road from where the asphalt runs out here down into the swamp. The issue we have is this. We could potentially put a bridge here and then carry on building. There's obviously a repair shop here that we could link to. So I think we probably need a road and potentially a bridge here, because we're going to need to get across this gap here. So, and for that wayfarer to get anywhere, the minute it runs out of tarmac, which is here, it's going to stop. So if we follow that natural road, although the natural road comes around here to here, see the natural road here. The natural road comes this way. We need a bridge here then, and then this road is meant to go this way by the looks of things, and which will lead us to here. So, which will then need a road here anyway. So I do think we need a road here, because this road naturally goes round here. You can see the natural join, so we'll need another bridge here, and then this will all be road. And it will have to be road because the wayfarer won't make it. The issue obviously is where this is all broken here, we're going to need to fill this in. Which we can do with sand and then asphalt on top. That is doable, admittedly. Not ideal, but doable. Or we could bridge it. That is the other option. But only with bridge vehicles. Okay. I'm just trying to work out the best plan, really, for this. There's no way we're driving that any other way without a road. It will just get stuck. We've tried it before. It takes ages to get it unstuck, and it's a pain in the butt to sort out. So we may as well not try and rush it, and we may as well do it properly. I think the plan will be then, and we are out of time for today, so we're not going to be able to do this now. I've just realised we're literally out of time. So we are back in RoadCraft on Thursday. So Thursday's plan, first and foremost, we're going to make a road down here, and then come down this way with this road, follow the natural road path that's already there. We'll put a bridge over here, carry on making this road, and follow the actual natural path of the road, which is up here, and then we'll deal with this issue over here and road all the way here as well, as the mission is stated in the first place, and we'll connect it to our road here. I think that is the first thing we'll do. Then we'll deliver the wayfarer. The side mission is to pick up 2 things up here and deliver them all the way over here to the transit point. Again, swamp may require a road, although I think this road that goes this way potentially links up to here, because there's a natural road point here that's all flooded that goes round the mountain. Although we could probably pick it up. We could probably put a road in if we wanted to. Well, there is one here actually, going through the swamp. So there is a road that starts going through the swamp here and comes round and then up here. But also I think, looking at that, it joins to here and joins to there. Okay, I think we're going to need lots of road building. Then to even deliver the 2 items from under the central radio tower, we're going to need more of a road into the swamp there as well. So quite a bit of road building to do on Thursday. It's going to take some time, but I think that is our best plan of attack, to be fair. We're never going to be able to drive that wayfarer otherwise. That's the thing. So yeah, road there, bridge it, road all the way around here and down here. And while we're building a road, we then might as well come back through the swamp here, connected to the transit point at the very least. And then that way, that can all be then completed in one foul swoop, once the road part's done. Okay, Infrastructure-wise, it does say we've got connect electricity to places. Sawmill needs power, which we're going to do from here. We can avoid our road because we can do the edge. That can be done at any point once the power... Well, we can do it in advance. Once substations up running, that can be done. There's a road over here. Oh, so actually it tells us to build a road, but not where we want to go. It's building a road to the repair shop. So we may do that bit first because that will help speed us up a little bit because it will do the sand for us. And then we can link off that here. So that might be worth doing first. I'm guessing we can put the road above that then. Interestingly. So we may not have to use a bridge. We could do a road along this way and link here instead. We'll figure all that out on Thursday by the looks of things. There is a secondary road to build over that way. That is there. I think that's it. Yeah. So still lots to do. We haven't made a massive amount of progress. It doesn't feel like today anyway. But we'll find out in a second. We started down 37%. I guarantee it's not above 40. There's no way. I'm still confused though why a mission says clear trees, build road, but not then have to build a road. Unless it thinks you just will anyway. And it doesn't put it in as a mission road, maybe. Potentially. We are amazingly 41% done. I was wrong. We gained 4% today. We've completed 6 of 24 infrastructure requests, 12 of 32 main objectives, 6 of 11 side missions as well. And we have now opened up a lot more of the western side of the map. Just got northwest to kind of open up, and that'll be the whole map open then. But we are slowly getting there. Obviously, lots of road building, which does take up time, but we are slowly getting there. We're making good progress anyway. But that is it for today. Thank you very much for joining us. We're back with more RoadCraft on Thursday morning. We're also back live tomorrow morning with Ghost of Yotai as we continue Atsu's Path of Revenge. RoadCraft on Thursday. I think that's it from me. Keep an eye out. If you don't join us tomorrow for Yotai, there is a vote for next main live stream game. The second vote goes live tomorrow evening, 8 PM GMT. So don't miss your chance to have your say. And that's it. A massive thank you guys. Thank you for the likes, the comments, the views, and the conversation. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day. And we'll see you in a live stream very soon. Thank you all for watching. Bye-bye.